Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a new pick a card reading, and this one is all about some guidance from Spirit. So this is what you need to hear right now, what you need to know. Spirit was coming through strong this morning and I was just feeling like a lot of people right now kind of need some guidance, and Spirit was like, I am here for this. Let's do it. Let's do a video on it. And I was like, yes, I feel this. So here we are. If you are new to these videos and these readings, I'm going to give you a quick little review and rundown of how they work. So essentially we have 5 different groups over here. We have group 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you can take a moment, pause the video if you'd like to find the pile that you are the most drawn towards. Then once you're done choosing your pile, you can then scroll down to the comment box or the description box, and that is where you can find the timestamp that is linked to your specific card so that you can skip ahead right to your personal reading all about the message that Spirit has for you. If you like to choose with crystals on the cards, and if you find that that helps, then let's go ahead and put some crystals on these cards. Okay, my loves, if you like to choose with crystals, here are our crystal options. So over here we have some aqua aura quartz, then we have some lithium rose quartz, then we have some pyrite, and then we have some sunset aura quartz, and then over here we have some amethyst. So again, take a moment, pause the video if you'd like to find the pile that you are the most drawn towards. Then once you're done choosing your pile, you can then scroll down to the comment box or the description box to find the timestamp that is linked to your specific card, and then you can skip ahead and watch your personal reading all about what you need to hear right now and the guidance that Spirit has for you in this moment. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get right into this video. Okay, so group 1, if you chose this pile, then this is going to be your reading, so let's get right into it. Okay, so group 1, I pulled the aquamarine crystal for your group, and aquamarine is a crystal that helps with gaining clarity and insights upon your situation. So if there's something that you've been confused about, maybe a situation that has happened, or maybe wanting more clarity on the direction in your life, aquamarine comes through as this energy, and Spirit's telling you right now that there's going to be a lot more guidance and answers kind of coming to your life to help you out of the situation that you're currently sort of dealing with. Aquamarine comes through to give powerful insights to kind of help us begin moving forward again in a very clear direction and in a very clear way. We also have the 5 of Cups being reversed, 8 of Wands upright, and then the 6 of Cups upright. So basically what Spirit is wanting you to know is that there's something perhaps in your past that we still haven't been able to let go of or move on from. There's something kind of emotionally holding you back. Maybe our emotions feel kind of stuck right now. Maybe our emotions are kind of weighing on us right now in a certain way. And a lot of the times when we have 6 of Cups and 5 of Cups here, both of these cards represent being emotionally attached to the past or reminiscing a lot about the past, wishing maybe we could make some changes, do things differently, or maybe we're wishing that we could just go back to the good old days or things like that. And Spirit is coming through so strongly right now to tell you that you have a way better future than what your past was. The 8 of Wands being right front and center in this group lets me know that your future and what Spirit really, really, really wants you to know, group 1, is that your future holds so much more than what your past offers. If you went back in the past, you'd be missing out on the greatest future. If you continue to not let go of the past, you are going to miss out on the most amazing future. Your future, I can't even explain to you how much better it is. Also, 8 of Wands deals with clarity as well. Aquamarine and 8 of Wands. There's a lot more clarity and understanding, and you're going to realize in your future. So as you begin to move forward and as you close out the past and you close out that door, and the more that you walk away from it and begin exploring your future, the more that you're going to understand why things in your past did not work out and why you're currently in the situation that you're in. So if in the current moment, if something's going on in your life where you're wishing you could have made some different choices, or maybe you're wishing that things turned out differently for the present moment. So maybe there's either certain regrets that we have, or maybe we're stuck in a place where we're feeling kind of like not as good, and we're feeling like, oh, the past was better than my current situation. If you are feeling that way, Spirit is knocking on your door right now, telling you to answer it. Answer the call to move forward, to shut out the past. Stop living in the past and stop wishing you could go back to the past and all of that, because Spirit is like, okay, the more that you think about the past, the more that you're just wasting your time, because the past is not going to come back. There's no making it come back. And the more that we sit there and sit in it, we're just kind of feeding into the same old emotion that's going to keep repeating, and we're not moving forward, which means we're going to be stuck right where we are, where we keep thinking about the past. But thinking about the past is not going to bring it back. So Spirit is opening up a brand new door for you right now. And you may be wondering, okay, what is this new door? I don't understand what it is. I don't see where I should go. This door is actually very easy and very clear. I say easy in the sense that it's right there for you. And this door is walking out of the past. So to kind of forgive it, forgive your current circumstances, let them be what they are, whatever it may be, even if it's weighing on you emotionally, begin to start to let that go, begin to shed that. That is you walking into that new door. That is you walking into your future, because as you shed those old emotions, as you shed and kind of forgive your current circumstances, and you forgive yourself for whatever, you may need to forgive yourself, or you forgive certain people, depending on your situation, it might look kind of different for you. But Spirit is basically saying to shed your old skin, shed it, let it go. It is time to let it go. And as you do that, that is you stepping into the new self. That is you stepping into your new future, because as you let it go, there's of course, you're starting to embrace the current energy of the now. And as you embrace the current energy of the present moment, by detaching from the past and kind of letting go of like, oh, I wish I could just go back there. Like, I wish things were as they once were, and I wish things were as easy as they once were. Let that go. Because that is what is holding you back right now. That is what is perpetuating the current emotions to keep continuing. And Spirit says that there's an opportunity right in front of you, and it's going to lead you to so much more expansion and to so many more better things. So if right now you're going through a little bit of hardship, whether that be through love, friendship, romance, career, money, anything that you're kind of going through right now, your future holds so much more, and your future holds much better circumstances than your past. But the only way to get there is to start letting it go. That's the only way to get there. So Spirit is coming through group 1. The only way to get there is to begin letting go of your current feelings about the past and kind of living there. The more that you live in the past, the more you're going to be held back from living in the future. The more that we think about the past, the more that we think about like, oh, how can I bring that back? How can I make good times thrive again? How could I, whatever. The more that you do that, the more that you're stuck in the past. I know I'm repeating this message, but I don't know. I'm feeling like it's really important to repeat this so that you really fully absorb the message. And yeah, so no more focusing on the past, group 1, because the more that we live in the past, the more that we are just holding ourselves back, because energy flows where attention goes. So if our attention is looking backwards, if you're looking this way, that'll be the area you end up walking. When you're like kind of like walking, and then you like see something off to the side and you start looking in that direction, you notice that your whole posture begins veering in that direction, and you're like, whoa, kind of like walking. I'm not really seeing where I'm walking anymore. The more that you focus on the past, the more that you continue kind of walking in that direction, but there's no bringing the past back. You can't revive it, right? So the more that you go there, the more that you're actually just getting yourself stuck, right? And you're not moving forward. But if you kind of begin to let that go, and then you embrace the present moment, that's when you're going to begin to notice right where you are. And that's when you're going to begin to perceive of other directions, because we cannot see what's right in front of us if we're looking backwards. We can't see of the doorway that's right in front of us. We can't see of the opportunity that's right in front of us when we're looking backwards. It's time to shed that. And you're going to begin moving forward faster than ever. Things are going to begin happening in your life again. I think there's a lot of like situations that are going to begin flowing in, happening. There's a lot of clarity. You'll have a new sense of direction coming to you. So if you've been kind of lost, there's a brand new sense of direction coming to you that is going to be clear as day. That's why we have Aquamarine. That's why we have Eight of Wands. Both of those are the energy of clarity and this very strong sense of direction where it's unquestionable. We know exactly where we're going. And so that is the energy that I really see coming into your life once you begin to stop looking into the past, once you begin to embrace the present moment and realize that your future can and will be so much greater than your past. And I wish I could show you the feeling that I'm getting about your future right now. Hopefully a lot of you are kind of feeling it right now, but if not, let me just explain to you for a second the amazing feeling that I'm getting about your future, group number one. Oh my goodness. Once you get a taste of what your future has for you and has in store for you, your past is going to be something you are so glad you left behind. And all of a sudden it'll make sense why you had to leave it behind. It'll make sense why you had to go through this transition that you're going through right now. It is going to make sense. It is going to make sense why you're going through whatever you're going through right now, whether that be some sort of hardship or regret or anything. It'll all make sense once you see your future and once you see where it is leading you, because your present moment right now is teaching you something. It's teaching you how to let go of the past, and it's teaching you also how to become stronger so that you can expand bigger than ever. And even though you may not fully comprehend that right now or fully understand that, it's going to make sense, right? It's going to make sense. It's kind of like, being given like a more advanced sort of like science-y book when you're in kindergarten and you're like, I don't know what any of this means, but like you're going to learn it along the way. Spirit is teaching you. You're being taught right now. So it may not make full sense in the moment, but that's okay. You're being taught. So just continue going because it's going to make sense. All of a sudden, all the information is going to start flowing to you, and then you're going to be very thankful for the current moment that you have, because it is leading you to a future that I could not even begin explaining to you because you wouldn't believe me. Okay? But the feeling that I get is immensely beautiful. And I really hope you can feel it through watching this right now. And if not, just know and just trust me, you are coming across and building, right now you're building a new foundation, right? You're building a new foundation for this future that is giving me goosebumps right now, even thinking about the energy that I'm getting for your future. It is so beautiful, okay? Like so beautiful. I'm seeing some of the things that you didn't even know were possible for yourself happening. And I really think 3 years from now, group number one, all of you watching this 3 years from now, there's going to be you're going to be in a completely different place to where you look back on your life right now and you're just going to be like, whoa, if only I knew. But that'll be the beauty of the surprise, right? That'll be the beauty of the surprise. And it's all going to be slowly accumulating over the next 3 years. It's not just going to be like a big transition. It's going to be kind of changing and accumulating over the next 3 years as we begin to shed the past and as we begin to start looking forward and moving forward. It is going to start coming to life. And 3 years from now, your life is going to be quite unrecognizable to what it is right now. And yeah, it's going to be amazing. Like I even think a year from now, it's going to be, quite different. But specifically 3 years from now, wildly different, okay? We also have 2 other cards to add on here that are going to explain Spirit's guidance even more. So we have 10 of Swords being reversed, which makes total sense for your group. I can't even believe it. And then Page of Swords being reversed. Both of these cards make total sense for your group. Like Spirit came through with these messages so loud and clear. So 10 of Swords being reversed, group number one, Spirit needs you to shed You just went through the hardest part you're going to go through, and Spirit is promising you right now. Group number 1, here's a promise from Spirit. 10 of Swords being reversed indicates that this is the peak. This is as hard as it's going to get. You're at the peak right now. And now is the time to just shed and trust that you're not going to have to deal with this again. So as long as you just embrace the moment and get through it the best that you can, and Spirit's like giving you strength and giving you like a big hug right now. And Spirit's like, oh my God, just trust me, just trust me, just trust me. Because this is all about shedding. The 10 of Swords upright is about having being like almost backstabbed, feeling like the situation is almost against you, feeling like your thoughts are against you right now, feeling like we can't get certain things out of our mind. You guys might be going through a kind of stressful period right now where it seems like your thoughts are almost just stabbing you and weighing on you. Some of you may have been even having some like nervous breakdowns, anxiety, panic, nervousness, all sorts of different things that have been really weighing on you, because that's what the 10 of Swords indicates. But the 10 of Swords being reversed is when all of these thoughts, all of these problems, all of this tension, nervousness, pain, grief, guilt, all of that begins sort of falling away. So this is the card that lets you know, and the tens, any 10 in tarot indicates the completion of a phase. That is the completion. So the 10 is like letting you know, group number 1, it's over, it is done. You've reached the absolute peak of what this is. It's not getting worse from here. Especially if you begin shedding it and letting it go, accepting the present moment and no longer living in the past. Like, we just need to face the current moment for what it is, okay? And begin shedding the past. And what I mean by shedding the past is no longer focusing on how good it used to be and wishing we could go back there, wishing we could change something, wishing we could just be back in the good old times. Because Spirit's like, those aren't going to be the good old times. That's just going to be a stepping stone on your way to something way bigger. You're on a stepping stone right now to something so much bigger, okay? And Spirit's actually giving me an image that they really want me to explain to you. What they see you going through right now, the way that they're looking at your situation, this is how Spirit, from the bigger perspective, from the higher perspective, they're looking down on your situation, and this is how they want to explain it to you so that you can understand your current scenario, okay? So say that there's literally stepping stones on a river, and you're halfway through. Okay, so that's the peak. The peak is halfway through. It's just going to get easier from there because you're closer and closer and closer to your biggest goal, right? So you're halfway there. And let's say the stone that you stepped on was slippery and you fell off and you fell into the river. But you're okay, okay? The Spirit is letting you know that it's actually, if you trust this process and know that this is teaching you something, because now you're going to be more aware about slippery stones in the future. And your awareness upon these slippery stones, your awareness on the problems that we may face, this is teaching you how to overcome that. Right now, you're in, not super deep water, and you can get yourself back up and climb back on the stone, even though it may seem hard. You're in a river, it can seem a little hard. We slipped off our stone. It could have been a little bit, painful doing that, but Spirit is like, you're okay, we got you, and this is the hardest part. There's no more slippery stones in the future. And now with your awareness, you're no longer going to fall into slippery stones, because now you're going to test the waters prior. And Spirit is saying that this is one of the most important lessons that you could have learned. So for example, it's kind of like a baby. We need to teach them, like, hey, don't stick a fork into a socket because you're going to get electrocuted. Don't touch a hot stove because that's going to burn you. This is one of those lessons. Spirit is seeing it as that type of lesson, even though it's on a much grander scale. Whatever you're going through is on a much grander scale, but from a higher perspective, it's that same sort of correlation. Spirit is teaching you a very important lesson right now. So even though you may not see exactly what that is at the moment, you may not fully understand it, just as a baby may not fully understand why a stove is hot, because they might be like, I don't understand this. And as an adult, we can't really explain it to them because, they're still learning. They're still learning how to comprehend things. They're still learning how to communicate, and they're still learning about the different things that there are to experience in life. So As they get older though, all of a sudden they're going to realize, oh, there was flames on the stove. That's where you were cooking food. That's why it's hot, because fire is hot. I get it now. So you're learning something like that, but on a much grander scale. And spirit up above you is like, it's okay, it's okay, it's totally okay. You don't need to fear this, because there's goodness within this lesson. There's such goodness within this lesson for you. And you're going to get back up on that stone, and it's going to help you in your future, because you're about to embark on something much greater. You're about to experience something so much bigger, group one. This is so much bigger. Like I couldn't even, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. Like your future has so much greater experiences, but you need to learn this lesson so that it doesn't happen to you in the future, right? So that way, when, like, this is almost like if you're a child, you're a baby, and you're learning that the stove is hot, and you're meant to become like an Iron Chef or something, you know, and this is an important lesson, because as an Iron Chef, of course, we're not going to get to that level if we don't learn not to touch the stove with our bare hands. We're just not going to get there. Imagine being an Iron Chef, but you never learned that lesson. So spirit is like, you're becoming your own like Iron Chef, I guess, in your own way, but you're learning certain lessons about, okay, the stove is hot here, we're learning this, we're learning that. So it's all going to make sense in your future. And spirit is like, don't be so harsh on yourself. Page of Swords reversed. My love, do not be so harsh on yourself, okay? Don't be so harsh. Like, just realize that life teaches us these lessons, and this is actually for your benefit. This is so important for you, and spirit is there just hugging you. Like, I'm honestly getting that you have an older woman spirit guide. There's also a younger man too, but the older woman right now is like very comforting, and I feel like she was a grandma in a past life or something for a lot of you, and she's coming through, and she's just hugging you right now, and she's just like, oh, it's okay, it's okay, like we got you. And she's wanting to let you know right now that everything's okay. I know that might sound a bit woo-woo, but she's coming through. She is coming through right now. And she's like this grandma archetype that all of you kind of have. And she's literally hugging your soul right now. And she's just like, oh my gosh, don't be so harsh on yourself. Oh my goodness, this is totally okay. This is totally okay. This is so okay. Like she's really wanting to like work in the message, but she does it in such a caring way, but she's really wanting to work in the message of like, oh my gosh, it's totally okay. Like don't even fret about it. Don't even fret about it. Like don't be harsh on yourself like this, because this is a lesson that is going to serve you so greatly. And she's like, oh my God, if only you could see how amazing that this lesson is going to serve you in the future. You would want to redo this lesson 10 times over. You wouldn't even care about redoing this lesson 10 times over if you knew how well that this lesson is going to serve you in the future. It wouldn't even be phasing you the way that it is right now. You would gladly jump into this lesson 10 more times if you understood where it is leading you, okay? So powerful message. Thank you, Grandma Spirit Guide, coming through with that. I'm also getting this like, younger man that's like lifting your chin up, being like, chin up. Yeah, a younger man spirit guide that's like, chin up, sweetheart, chin up. So, I don't know, we got those spirit guides coming through. They really care about you a lot, group one. So, with that being said, let's get into a few more cards. We have Glamour. Ooh, spirit is coming through to let you know how freaking amazing you are. And if you could only see the way that they see you. Into this mirror, I now see the realms of possibility. If only you could see your own potential. This is about seeing your potential, group one. Gosh, you have so much potential. Oh, your spirit is coming through hard for you, group number one. Like, I'm getting that they're just clapping that you're even here right now receiving this message. So like, if any of you are here, just like, hello, spirit is coming through for you. And they want you to see the way that they see you, because it is so much more powerful than the way that you see yourself in the moment. But you're going to see your, okay, oh, I got goosebumps. You are going to see your true potential. 3 years from now, you're going to be like, wow, if only I knew what I was truly capable of. It is going to be expanding even further than that. Even 3 years from now, that's not your peak. That's not your end goal. It expands even further from there too. But in 3 years, you're going to be like, wow, I never even could have imagined this realm for myself. I couldn't even imagine that this was possible for myself. But that's actually not even the peak yet of like what you can expand into. Wow, group 1. My goodness. They're also coming through to be more confident in yourself and your appearance, because sometimes this card can also indicate, I'm also going to change my battery really quick. Before I get into this message, I'm going to change my battery because it is about to die and I don't want it to cut out on you guys. Okay, we're back. So I'm getting a message that some of you may be insecure about your appearance even, or maybe even just how others perceive you or something like that. Even how you perceive yourself and your own worth and what you're capable of. You're capable of so much more. But if some of you also have some, like, I don't know, like insecurities about your appearance, Spirit's coming through right now saying like, you don't even realize your beauty and the way others see you. I think that you're way more harsh on yourself than you realize. Like this Page of Swords reversed, you are much more harsh on yourself. But Spirit's coming through that it's because you have very high standards, and these high standards are actually part of your gift, but right now you're using them in a way that's kind of like hindering you but there's a strong side to this. So this is actually a gift. So you actually have a gift, group number 1, of having very high standards, and you came here to be excellent and to reach bigger things. Because of that though, you tend to sometimes this gift ends up kind of working against you, because with these such high standards, you tend to be harsher on yourself, and that's kind of the negative aspect of this gift. But the more that you can embrace the positive aspect of this gift and kind of let it go and see your own worth and see your own potential and realize that this gift is actually because you're so freaking amazing and you're supposed to reach so much more. This gift was given to you so that you reach higher. Not necessarily in like beauty or things like that, but just higher in general, so that you expand beyond, because your standards are very hard standards. But it's actually leading you to greatness. So use it as a gift rather than using it as something that works against you, because this gift can work for you or against you. Okay? This gift. Instead, let it be what drives you forward rather than what holds you back, because it can do both. This gift, all gifts are kind of double-sided. It can work for you or against you. Use this as something that pulls you to increasing your standards, to being the best that you can be, because that's what this gift can give you, and it can be incredibly motivating. Spirit's coming through and saying that this gift can be incredibly motivating if you use it in the right way. So let it push you to be the absolute greatest rather than letting it like be harsh on you, okay? The next card, we have good cheer. So yeah, that's coming through. It's kind of like the message of like, use this gift to work for you. Good cheer. Let it motivate you. There's positivity in the gifts that you have. You may not even be realizing that that was one of your strengths and one of your gifts, but Spirit's like, hey, that was one of your like blessings this lifetime. But you know, don't let it work against you. Let it work for you, because that's what it's meant for. Okay. I'm also seeing a lot of goodness coming into your life the more that you shed the past, kind of like the moving forward thing that we were saying. It is going to put you in a very positive, joyous state as you kind of get there. So next 2 cards we have Warrior Woman. Oh my goodness, this fits in so well. So look at what this card says. If you weren't afraid, what would you do? If you harness your power right now, Spirit is coming through like harness your power in the present moment. The more that you're able to shed the past, then the more you're going to be able to harness the power of the present moment and realize that you have this incredible driving force within you. So if you weren't afraid of the outcome, if there was no wrong choice, if you were playing a video game right now and you knew that it you could kind of do anything and whatever, if you weren't afraid in that moment, what would you do? What would you do? Because look at your life right now as like your fear's holding you back, right? But you could go into so much more if you're just willing to see your potential, and if you're willing to fight for it, if you're willing to harness your power, your inner power, you can get anywhere. Swords are about making decisions. This is about making a clear decision, and not just like a maybe decision, not just like, oh, I should do that. That's not a decision. That's a thought. Making a decision is putting your foot down and being like, I am absolutely doing this. That is a decision. A decision is concrete, right? Swords are about making decisions. If you weren't afraid, what would you do? It's time to make a decision. We also have fill up your well, retreat, rest, and refuel. So filling yourself with confidence is going to be very important. Filling yourself up with good cheer. Fill up your well of like realizing, hey, I have what it takes. The more that you kind of like motivate yourself in this way, you're going to almost like refuel your energy, and it's going to propel you forward more than ever. The next two cards we have miracles and memories. So some of you are still clinging on to memories. Some of you are still clinging on to the past, to certain times, to certain memories. But miracles are waiting in your future. Literal like miracles. But the catch here is that you're actually creating them. They're not just like random miracles that are super random and you just got lucky. It's not that. It's like you are creating these. It is within your power to create these. But it deals with letting go of the past. But learning from these memories. You can learn from them. You don't have to forget them. But it's about forgiving the past so that you can move on and you can move forward and not live in hopefulness of the past returning. We don't want the past to return. We want a way better future. So let's go towards that rather than the past. Okay, so we also have some more cards to get into. So let's see what we got here. So group 1. What other cards do we have coming out for group 1? Release the past. I mean, what can I say? We have release coming up, which of course is talking about releasing the past. We also have transmute. So allow this to be something that motivates you. The worker bee, look at, he's creating something. He's taking whatever he's given, which is the nectar of the flower, and making something with it. So this is time for you to move forward. And boundaries is coming up. So boundaries of the past. Once we put up a wall to our past, a boundary, so that we no longer go into the past, we're no longer tempted to like, you know, for example, talk to people from our past, or I'm going to put this card here actually so you can see it better. So if we can put up boundaries to our past so that we're no longer clinging on to it, we will be able to move forward and propel forward more than ever. This is asking you to put clear boundaries, make a clear decision, release the past. It is time for you to move forward. The more that we cling onto the past, the more that we hold on it, the more that it's going to hold you back from your future, and your future is so much better. Okay, we're also going to get some of these guidance cards for you. So we have recharge. So we have 2 recharge cards coming up. And this one says, there's nothing like a walk on the beach to soothe your soul. So even if you're not near a beach, this is asking you to do things. Spirit's telling you that do things that recharge your energy. And this, like, think about what truly recharges your energy and your soul, right? What truly, deeply recharges your energy and your soul. For me, I love walking on the beach. That definitely soothes my soul. But you could also, you know, go for a drive, you know, with like a cup of tea, like go get some tea, go on a drive where you could just think, especially drives when it's like near somewhere that's like really beautiful. That's always like super recharging. Going for just a walk in general can be very recharging. And it'll help you begin to move forward too. Let's see what else Spirit has to say to end off this reading. Any other messages from Spirit for group 1? That was a powerful reading. We got a lot of stuff there. So let's see. Any last messages? I'm feeling this one. We have breathe. Break from beneath the water's surface and soar up beyond the turquoise sea to get a breath of fresh air. So a breath of fresh air is going to come when you break from beneath the water's surface. So when you take when you take a break, when you come back up. So this is time for you to float back up so that you can breathe. This is time for you to detach from the past because it's going to allow you to breathe. And that's when you're going to gain clarity as well. Clarity comes when we let go of whatever is currently clouding us. The past can be very clouding, so it's time for us to let it go so we can get a breath of fresh air, and fresh air also again brings clarity. So that is what we have for you, group number 1. That was the guidance that Spirit wanted to relay to you today. I hope it made sense for you. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button down below if you want to see more videos like this in the future, because I'd love to have you there. And hopefully I see you in my next one. Bye. Okay, so group 2, if you chose this pile, then this is going to be your reading. So let's get right into it. Okay, group 2, Spirit is coming through with a strong message. So we have the 7 of Cups being reversed, the Knight of Swords upright, and then the 10 of Cups upright. And I also pulled this Big Spite card for you. So that is your crystal message, which we're going to get into in a second. But these cards right here are representing your current sort of situation that Spirit wants to speak about to you. And the 7 of Cups being reversed is letting me know that there has been a important decision or choice or something you've been trying to commit to, something you've been trying to do, something you've been trying to maybe promise to yourself. This could be quitting a habit, starting to do something that you really have been trying to promise yourself, or changing your lifestyle, making a choice, going for a big dream, making an actual decision, choosing an option, something along the lines of this, that Spirit is coming through right now and letting you know that they see your efforts and what you've been trying to do, but there's this energy of where you maybe keep changing your mind, or you keep second guessing yourself, or you keep falling back into old habits, patterns, and routines, and kind of this decision hasn't been concrete enough, okay? And maybe we change our minds because we're looking for maybe a quick outcome, maybe we're looking for quick results, maybe we're trying to, like our mind is working so fast. And so the Knight of Swords is letting me know that Spirit sees how fast your mind works, and they're just like, okay, we need to slow down for a second. We might be rushing because we really want to get to our end result. We really want to get to the feeling of success. We really want to get to this goal. But Spirit is letting you know that without a concrete decision, this energy, this new path is never going to build momentum enough for you to reach that. But you have the potential within you. So Spirit is letting you know, group 2, you have all the potential within you to make it to this 10 of Cups, which is one of the best cards in all of tarot. You have all of the potential within you to get to this super happy, amazing end result. And that's not even the end yet, okay? But it all comes down to making a very solid decision and acting on it. Spirit wants you to act on it, okay? But this isn't acting on it so fast and so swiftly that all of a sudden we miss all of the important things and that we ignore some of the warning signs, or that we, this is, Spirit is asking you right now, okay, slow down. Slow down and ask yourself, what do you really want in your life? What kind of person do you want to be? Okay, Spirit is actually coming through right now. If you're watching this pile, I highly, highly, highly recommend. Spirit is asking you right now to maybe pull out a notebook, pull out the notes tab on your phone or something, and write down, because Spirit wants you to gain clarity on the direction that you're going in, because otherwise, if we don't have a very clear direction on where we're going to go in the wrong direction. Guaranteed. Like if we don't choose where we're going, let's say we're rowing our boat, in this like stream, and we have a particular destination that we're like, oh, I kind of want to go there, but we haven't like fully committed or made that decision. The stream is going to end up taking us wherever the stream wants to go. And we're going to wonder like, how come I couldn't get to the destination I really wanted to go in? It is because we need to become so super clear on where we're going and where we want to end up, that we actually take action and move towards there. It's more than just a decision. First, we need to be super clear on it. That's step 1. We need to be super clear on what it is we're going and what our goal is. And once we're super clear, then we need to take action towards it. Okay, but it needs to be solid action. It needs to be solid, concrete action. But solid, concrete action only comes when we have a solid, concrete idea and understanding and knowing of where we are going and the direction we're headed in. So if there's something you want to change about your lifestyle, if there is an end result or end goal that you really want to get to, whether that be career, personal, relationship-wise, any aspect of life, Spirit is asking you to pull out your notebook right now, okay? Pull out a piece of paper, pull out a notebook. If you do not have one right now, get one very soon and actually do this. And I know a lot of people, you know, when we're doing these videos, not a lot of people will actually take action on that, but Spirit is saying that this is going to be life-changing for you. This is going to be life-changing. This is the moment where you could change your life right now, okay? This is the absolute moment where you could change your life. And let me tell you what Spirit wants you to do in order to do that. First, step one, making a clear decision about what you want and explaining it with clarity. So if you want to change your diet and reach a certain health goal, write down specifically what result you want, and then write down specifically exactly how you're going to do that. So are there certain foods that we need to give up? Do we need to start exercising? How many times a week do we need to start exercising? What do we need to do to take action towards that, okay? So we need to picture, step one, picture your end result. What do you want as your end result? Where do you want to end up? Where do you want to go? What do you want to create for yourself? And be as specific as possible that you can be. So if you want to get a certain career, if you want to make a certain amount of money per month, if you want a certain relationship, write down exactly what you want. Step two, what is the action that you're going to take to get that end result? We don't need to know exactly how it's going to happen. So for example, if you're writing down, I want to make $10,000 every month, maybe you don't know exactly how that's going to happen yet, but what are some action steps that we can take towards that? So step two, write down the action steps that you're going to take towards that. So maybe we're going to start reading, how do other people make that much money a month? What do they do? And that's action towards it, because we're learning, which is going to help us, you know, figure out our direction. It's going to help us figure it out. So write down step two, the action that you are going to take towards this goal. After step two, what you're going to write down is all the things that are currently holding you back that you know that you absolutely need to let go of. So for example, if we're constantly always coming home after our day of work and all we're doing is, you know, making dinner and watching Netflix, that's not going to change your life, right? And of course, we can do that once in a while. There's nothing wrong with that, especially if it helps us decompress and relax. But if we're doing it every single night, hoping that our life is going to be something different, it never will become something different. Okay? So if you're wanting to change something, we're going to need to start taking action towards that. So maybe we're making certain lifestyle changes where we don't watch Netflix every single night. Maybe we do it on certain nights, but then on others, we're, you know, researching how we're going to get to our goal. We're taking action towards it and doing those steps. So we need to start implementing it. So again, just to review what you need to do and what Spirit wants you to do, group number one is step one, define exactly what you want. Step two, what type of action are you going to take towards it? Step three, what other things do you need to let go of in your life that you need to change and stop doing? What's the goal? What is the action? And what do you need to stop doing in order to get there? Spirit is asking you to define those three things and define them with such clarity. And then step number four that you need to do is make this an actual decision, not allow it to just be a, I should do this, I'm hopefully going to start doing this. That is not going to get you anywhere. Step number four is making it a concrete decision that this is what you are doing, because that is what's going to get you to your end result. If you do not make it a concrete decision and you allow it to kind of be like, oh, maybe I'll start doing that. It's just the example of like hoping to, you know, get to a certain fitness goal, but yet we're like, I'm hopefully going to go to the gym like once a week. Hopefully, we'll see. Or I'm maybe going to go, I think I can go Sunday morning, but we'll see how I feel. We'll see how I feel. And if not, we'll go Monday morning. And if not, we'll go Tuesday. If we do that, if we have our action plan being like a maybe, like, oh, maybe I'll do it then. Maybe I'll do it then it's clearly not that important to you. If you want to change your life, this needs to start being such an important thing, just like eating every day. Of course we have to eat every day. Of course we're going to have to make time for that. If you want to change your life and it's a must for you, and if you really want to get to your end goal and it's a must, this needs to be a must, just like eating every day. This needs to be a must. And I know I am getting hard right now in this reading. I'm like, oh my gosh, but Spirit is coming through so strong right now, group number 2. Sorry if this sounds like a lecture, but wow, Spirit is just coming through. Okay, Spirit is like, if you want to change your life, because Spirit sees how bad you want this. That's the thing. Spirit sees how bad you want change. And I'm seeing that you want change. I'm seeing that you really want to get to this end goal of this 10 of Cups, which is you all of a sudden having what you want and basking in this amazing feeling of like, wow, I have exactly what I want. And Spirit sees how bad you want to get there. Spirit sees that you want this. So Spirit is coming through right now telling you exactly how you can get there. And Spirit wants you to know you can. You may not believe that you can, but you can. That's the thing. And one of the biggest reasons why we don't take action in life is because we don't even believe that we can get there, or we believe it's going to be really hard. And so we end up not wanting to go there because we believe that it's hard and it's a painful process. So we kind of just give into our normal pleasures because it's instant gratification. It's something we can do right now. Whereas getting to our goal may not be instant gratification. Right? It's going to take some work to get there. It's going to take some time, but it's going to build momentum. That's the thing. Spirit is like, this is going to build momentum. And if you really want to get there, group 2, if you really want to get there, you got to do it. It has to be as important as eating every day. It has to be something that you don't put off. If you plan to, change your fitness level, for example, I know it's a really common one, so that's why I'm using it as an example. So if we want to change our fitness goals, and then we tell ourselves, okay, every Sunday morning I'm going to go to the gym, every Sunday and Thursday or something. You cannot move that. You cannot move that time, because once you start doing that, it's now becoming an option. It's becoming a choice. And right when things become an option or a choice, especially when they don't give us instant gratification, we stop doing them. And a lot of the times our big goals don't give us instant gratification. And so them being an option means that they don't really get done. We don't really do them. But again, if you want to get there, we need to move past that instant gratification, and we need to make this a must. We need to make this an absolute must do. We have to do it. No matter how boring it gets, no matter how mundane it gets, don't second guess yourself. This Knight of Swords is letting me know that sometimes you second guess yourself, or sometimes you're looking for quick results and then we don't get them, and then we're back to the drawing board. Or we allow certain other things to come and distract us, Knight of Swords. We may be allowing other things to we just make quick decisions in the moment, and we're like, I'll do it tomorrow because in the moment right now, I can go out and do this. Once we start doing that, my loves, group number 2, that is when our dreams become just an option. And when our dreams are just an option, they don't really happen. It needs to be a concrete must. And once it is a concrete must, that is when your life is going to radically change. Knight of Swords talks about making a decision. Decisions are not maybes. Decisions is a concrete answer. And it doesn't move. It doesn't waver. It's not a maybe. It's not something that can get pushed off. 10 of Cups. Your end result, you have the potential to make the end result of your dreams happen, group number 2. 10 of Cups is one, if not one of the top, it's one of the top best cards in all of tarot, other than 10 of Pentacles, which kind of almost means the same thing as the 10 of Cups, but slightly different. 10 of Cups is more of emotional fulfillment because we've attained so much. The amount of fulfillment that you are going to get in your life, group number 2, by making this decision and going for it and no longer second guessing yourself, no longer changing your mind, you are going to reach that end goal, and it's going to be wilder than your wildest dreams. That's the thing. You are going to be so ultimately proud of yourself. It is going to make you into an entirely different person. The 10 of Cups is when we have everything we ever wanted. This is the card of having everything you've ever wanted. That's why it's one of the best cards in tarot, because of course that's like one of the best things ever. This is the card of having everything. It's the 10 of Cups. It is the last of the suit of the cups. That means you have all the cups. All the cups represent all the things that emotionally fulfill you. You are going to have it all. This can bring you to the absolute ultimate happiness. Okay? I also want to talk about the big spite crystal. So what it says in the book of Big Spite, I just wanted to read it to you because it's like such a powerful message. It says, there is a time to hesitate and a time to move forward with conviction, courage, and total determination. By the way, this card came out before I even knew what was underneath these cards. I never look at them. I never plan out which cards come up with what. And this fits along with your reading so freaking well. And so it says there's a time to hesitate and a time to move forward with conviction, courage, and total determination. And that time is now. That's what this card represents. This time is now. Big Spite Spirit has arrived to tell you to take a deep breath and move forward full speed ahead. That's Knight of Swords because he's the fastest moving. So move forward full speed ahead with forceful action on behalf of your own healing. Be fierce as you push through obstacles with laser focus, for nothing will stand in your way. You are meant to feel driven at this moment to break free of the chains binding you to unhealthy patterns. Advocate for yourself unapologetically and be unshaken in your belief that you are worthy of achieving your goal. The conscious universe, the force that propels you, is always there for you as your ally. Now is a time for fearless action. Sail on. Can we just talk about how freaking in alignment that message was for you? Like, I had to read it from the book so that you guys believed me that's what that crystal represented. That's what that crystal represents, and it fits in so freaking well with the tarot cards that we got. We also have quite a few other tarot cards to go through, and this is more about Spirit's guidance for you. So group 2, we have the 5 of Wands being reversed. Where do you stand in your own way? Now is a time to start clearing the energy instead of fighting yourself. This is the energy of fighting yourself or allowing other situations to kind of fight what you really want. So for example, if we constantly have friends that are like, oh my God, no, but we always do this, and you're like, but I'm kind of changing my plans. I need to start working out in the mornings rather than going to brunch. I need to start, working on my goals in the evening rather than always doing this and always doing that. This is where certain circumstances may be fighting us. This is where we and our old habits may be fighting us. We have to fight through it. Our desires have to become stronger than our current sort of lifestyle. Our desires have to outweigh that. And right when they do, that is when your life is going to shift, okay? This comes down to you making a choice. And it might feel like choices take a long time, but they take a long time because we keep second guessing and debating it. But choices actually are the fastest thing that you can do. You can make a choice right now and it's instant. But that choice has to become concrete. It's not just a maybe. That's not a choice, right? That's not making a decision. So it comes down to making a decision and to not fight yourself. So Spirit is asking you and telling you the secret formula to getting to the 10 of Cups, and the secret formula to getting to your absolute ultimate desire is to no longer fight yourself and to no longer have conflict of decision. Once you make a decision, there'll no longer be the conflict of like, should I do this or should I do that? A concrete decision means that there is no other option. That's a concrete decision. You'll notice that resistance falls away. You have resistance in your life because you haven't made that full commitment and that full decision. Once you make a full commitment and a full decision, there will never be resistance because there is no other option. There is no other thing that's standing in the way of you moving and taking action upon what you want to take action on. Because a decision means that there is no other thing. And you get to decide that. You get to decide what stands in your way. Once you make this new action as important as eating every day, not meaning that you need to take action every single day on it, but for example, like if it's a part of your week that you're like, there's no other option here, I'm doing this at least X amount of times a week, that is going to be where you find no more resistance. That is what makes resistance go away. So then we have the Moon card, and I apologize if I'm repeating myself here, but I really feel like ingraining these important messages in. We have the Moon card, and the Moon talks about fears of stepping into the unknown, fears of what might happen, fears that we may not get there, beliefs that may be popping up that tell us like, ooh, it may be our subconscious that's like, oh, but can we really get there? Are we really gonna end up at that end goal? What if it doesn't happen? What if I don't make it? What if I put in all that work and then it doesn't happen? Those are limiting beliefs, and they're fears. They're not real. There's no such thing as failure unless we stop trying, right? You can get to any goal that you want to get to. It requires moving forward, though, every single day and taking steps towards that, and not letting resistance get in the way, not letting other things get in the way. And the way that we make sure that there's no resistance is by making a concrete decision that is unwavering. Okay, then we also have the Four of Swords here, so no more debating it. This is the card that is all about debating it and thinking in your mind, overthinking it, or constantly doing it in your head, but not doing it in reality. Spirit is like, think about exactly what you want and make it clear. So take a moment, take some time, hopefully you already did, but if not, here's your reminder, get out that piece of paper and write down those 4 things. Look at Four of Swords, and we had 4 steps to this process. And this card deals with internal thinking, contemplation, meditating on something, and gaining a new clear picture about your future. That's the Four of Swords. And there's 4 steps to this process. So if this is not your sign to go take out that piece of paper and write it down, the swords are also about writing things down, planning things, okay? This is your sign that Spirit is again coming through. If you did not write down those 4 steps, go and do it now, and I'll give you a reminder of what those 4 steps are if you haven't written them down yet. Gain a clear picture of what it is you want. Number 2, second step, what action are you going to take towards it? Third step, what do you need to stop doing in your life? Fourth step is making a concrete decision about how that's going to be in your life, and then begin taking action towards that. Making it a concrete decision and taking action towards it. Those are your 4 steps. Okay, so that's that. We also have the Four of Cups, another 4 card. Wow, okay. So again, those 4 steps. And this is about not overthinking it. This is about making that clear decision. Both of these cards talk about the energy of contemplating something. This is time for you to take action on it. After figuring it out, once you have it so clear in your mind, then it's time to take action, my love, okay? Next couple cards, we have safe travel as one of the cards coming up. So this is letting you know that you can move forward and you can get to your destination, and you can make it satisfying and fun in the process. Okay? This is about you moving forward. Don't let fears hold you back. The Moon, this is fears of moving forward. We may have certain fears. What are other people going to think of me? Is it going to change my image? Are people going to dislike me for doing this? Is this going to happen? Is that going to happen? This is letting you know that it can be safe. This is safe for you to move forward on. Use your discernment, of course, but at the same time, don't let things hold you back from doing what you truly, truly, truly want to do. Plan out how you're going to do it, and that way you'll gain more clarity and more trust within yourself to do it well and to do it properly and to actually get to your destination. And then you'll notice those fears begin to subside. Okay, and then we have health. Ooh, so some of you may have health goals. This could be a health goal for some of you. Some of you, it could be a combination of different goals. And health may be part of it. This is time to take your health into your own hands. The health of your mind, the health of your desires, the health of who you're meant to be, the health of your body, the literal health of your body. Okay? So, Spirit's coming through hard. I cannot believe we have all these cards that correlate to each other so well. The next card we have is soul family. Call in your tribe. You don't have to do it alone. So there could be other people that are also wanting to do these same things as you and have these same goals, and it can be easier to have a companion through this. So if you have a companion that's like that also wants to do a certain career goal or a certain health goal, exercise goal, meal goal, whatever. If there's different things that you want to reach, you can find similar people and it can make the process a lot easier. And I'm also hearing that there's going to be an opportunity to have somebody in your life. If not, maybe you already have this person already that has these same goals. But if not, I'm hearing that there's going to be an opportunity to meet somebody that's very similar and on a similar path as you that will help encourage you to keep going. We also have awakening, so energetic upgrades, a new way of being, and integration. So this is integrating a new you. As you move forward on this, you're going to begin integrating this new self, and it's going to become natural to be this way. It is going to become natural for you to be this new self. So this is an energetic upgrade for you as you take on this new self, as you make these clear decisions. You're going to start embodying a new way of being, and it's going to integrate. It's going to finally become natural, and it won't be so hard anymore. Whenever we first change, it's very difficult because we're not integrated into that new self yet. 90 to 95% of our day and our decisions are run based on our subconscious mind, and our subconscious mind is our patterns, habits, and routines. That means change is pretty hard. We need to be pretty conscious about it. We need to use that 5 to 10% of our brains, and we're needing to constantly be conscious about our decisions. And that's why it can feel hard, because those new decisions have not become habit for us yet. It's not habit for us maybe to go to the gym. It's not habit for us to work towards these new goals that we have. It hasn't become habit. But once it does, that's when you integrate this new way of being, and that's when it becomes very easy. It'll all of a sudden be completely subconscious to eat healthy. You won't even be thinking about eating unhealthy. You won't even think about, diving in for dessert, because it won't be part of your pattern anymore. But to break pattern, we have to use a lot of conscious effort at first. So it does feel hard, and we're like, how can I keep this going? It's so difficult. That's because that's the hardest part. The beginning is the hardest part because it has not become habit yet. Once you repeat something enough, though, once you repeat it enough, it becomes habit and routine. And then it's all of a sudden completely subconscious. You won't even have to think about it, and you'll just be doing it. Just like driving. When you're learning how to drive, you're just like, oh my God, this is like kind of hard. Or like doing something else, like learning a certain like dance move or something. At first we have to be super conscious, we seem rigid, it's not flowing yet, but then eventually once we do it enough times, it's completely unconscious. Just like drying yourself off with a towel. All these things become unconscious as we do them enough. And then all of a sudden it's easy. So Spirit's letting you know this is going to become easy once you get the hard part over. And the hard part is doing it consciously and reminding yourself, right, I'm doing this now. Right, I'm doing this now. I'm not falling into it takes a lot of willpower to do that. But then once you do it enough, again, it's like clockwork. It becomes so natural. Okay, so then the next two cards we have re-energize. So I really see a lot of you as you begin to make these new choices. Even though it seems hard at first, it might seem a little bit draining at first to change your life. It's going to become easy, and you're going to get re-energized as you continue. We also have healing. Look at, and you're surrounded by people here. So this is a major healing and health journey for a lot of you. This is a major healing your old patterns and habits in order to create new ones that lead you to where you truly want to go. You're getting to your goal. I don't know what to say. Group number 2, you're getting to your goal, but here's the 4 steps. There's the guidance from Spirit. We also have some more cards that I want to pull, but I need to restart my camera really quick because it always cuts out at 30 minutes, so I'll be right back. Okay, we are back. So let's see. Group 2, okay. Sacred destruction, destroying old patterns and habits. Destruction can be very beneficial, especially when we use it for our benefit. So it's time for you to destroy your old way of being by no longer letting it be an option. This is also compassion for yourself, forgiveness. Don't be harsh on yourself for where you currently are. Like, don't be hard on yourself being like, why didn't I start sooner? I can't believe I didn't start sooner. Be compassionate with yourself. It's okay. Forgive yourself. It's fine. But you can change your life now, though. That's the thing. Then we also have get curious. So start exploring. Spirit's like, okay, it's time to start exploring, spreading your wings. Okay, and then we also have some of these cards. These are like really beautiful guidance cards. So let's see what Spirit has to say for group 2. We have protection coming up. So keep some aquamarine close. Mermaids' tears have been known to create these precious gems. Interesting. Okay, so that's just protection. So protecting your decisions. I'm really seeing this as protecting your new self and your new decisions, and finding ways of making sure that you stick to these new goals. And then patience. The tide will come when it's ready. Be patient with yourself. Also, I'm hearing that Spirit wants to clarify that there's no better time to start than now. There's never going to be a moment where we're like, oh my God, I'm like totally ready. You know, have patience with yourself and trust yourself, and have patience with the process. If you don't get instant gratification, that's fine. Keep going. Keep going. The tide keeps coming in slowly and slowly and slowly until it's all the way up, and then it's like, bam, there we go. That's it. So be patient with yourself and your progress, but keep going. Stick to it. Protect that new self, protect those new goals, because that'll help you get to where you need to go. So that was the guidance that we had for you, group number 2. I hope that made sense for you. I hope it resonated. I hope it offered the guidance that you need at this time. Spirit came through strong here, so we always really appreciate that. And again, I really appreciate you being here as well. Thank you for stopping by, and I'm sending you all of my love, and hopefully I see you in my next video. Bye. Okay, group number 3. If you chose this pile, then this is going to be your reading, so let's get right into it. Okay, group 3. We have the Star being reversed, the Queen of Swords upright, and then the High Priestess upright. And I also pulled the Pyrite card for you guys, which you are also the Pyrite group, so that's super interesting. We'll also talk about what this means in a second, but the Star being reversed, these 3 cards right here are representing kind of the situation that Spirit wants to come and talk about right now and give guidance on. And the Star being reversed indicates that you may be going through a time where it feels like you've either like lost hope, or maybe lost your sense of direction, or maybe like you've currently been going through a harder time, but it's been making you maybe question yourself, question your beliefs even, question the universe and like why this is happening. The Star being reversed is like a card of like losing faith or losing hope. And if you've been feeling like that lately, Spirit wants to come through very hard right now, but in a gentle way. In a gentle way, but Spirit is wanting to give you a message right now and to let you know that more clarity is going to come through this. And this is actually setting you up for something much bigger. The High Priestess is a very powerful card, and she's also kind of similar to the Star card, and the fact that you're surrounded by 2 major arcana cards, and then we have the Queen of Swords, which I believe is representing you. The Queen of Swords questions a lot of things. She's very logical, and you can see she's almost like looking over at this card. So this makes me think that you are questioning your beliefs a lot right now, or you may be questioning certain things. You may be questioning yourself a lot and questioning like, oh, do I even know which direction I'm going in? Do I even know what I'm doing right now? Like, why am I even trying to do this? There might be a lot of questions that you've been asking yourself right now, but this is all part of your growth, because this is part of you finding yourself and opening yourself back up. And part of this is kind of like an essential road, but Spirit is also asking you to ask the questions of like, why not? Why can't it be you? Start to ask those questions, and you'll start to head yourself in the right direction. You're supposed to be asking questions right now, but ask questions that end up being productive for you rather than hold you back, right? I really think that this is time for spirit to come through, and spirit saying that you're almost getting this energetic upgrade is kind of what I'm hearing with this high priestess coming through. And this is about you learning how to trust yourself. The biggest thing that I'm seeing right here is confidence, which is probably why you were drawn to this like pyrite energy, and why a bunch of pyrite energy came out in this group, is because there's energy and spirit wants to give you a message right now and guidance to say, this is you learning how to trust yourself. Okay, this is you learning how to put faith in yourself rather than waiting for the answer to come to you, rather than looking for the answer outside of you. This is about finding it within you. High Priestess is the sacred knowledge that everything that you ever need to know, all of those answers exist within you. That internal guidance that you're looking for, the guidance that you're looking for exists within you. Spirit exists within you. You are the divine connection to everything. And even though that might sound really woo-woo, that might sound really out there, Spirit is letting you know that your emotions are that internal GPS. We all have this internal GPS, and our emotions let us know what direction we're heading in, and whether or not that's like the right direction to go in. So for example, you know that game that we all used to play as kids, or at least I think like most of us used to play it, but it's the game of like hot and cold. So like one person is blindfolded and they're needing to like get to something or find something or like whatever, and then the other person is like hot, like hotter, cold, wrong direction, that's cold. Like it's the hot and cold thing. So your emotions actually are your internal GPS as well. And so if you're ever looking for an answer, your emotions will let you know whether or not you're headed in the right direction or not. So for example, if you've been questioning yourself a lot lately, wondering like, am I enough? Can I actually do this? And your emotions are kind of like getting you down. That's your emotions telling you wrong direction, wrong question. That's the wrong direction, incorrect. But when you start questioning yourself and you're like, I think I might be good enough. There's a lot of stories of people who've been in my situation, who've come out on top, who've created the best case scenario for themselves. There's a lot of, for example, like successful people that we have today, like billionaires and all that, who started from a friend's couch because they were like homeless. They didn't have somewhere to be. There's so many stories like that, and then they came out absolutely on top. So there's all of these scenarios that we can look at. So like even people who had years of being unlucky in love and then eventually found their absolute soulmate. There's so many scenarios. You could tie it to any situation, any type of situation. People going through extreme hardship, getting fired from their dream job. All of a sudden then they're like, there's so many stories of people then finding their true right path through situations like that, right? So if you're questioning yourself, am I good enough? Why me? If your emotions are telling you bad things, it's like, okay, you're thinking the wrong thing right now. If you're questioning like, oh, is there really a God? Is there really spirit? And maybe you're feeling down and harsh. That's your emotions being like, you're thinking the wrong thing. You're thinking the wrong thing. You're headed in the wrong direction. But then again, when we start thinking about like, you know what, I think I am worthy. Look at all these examples of people who have made it, and say that's filling you with an inspiring emotion. That's your emotions being like, fuck yes, right direction. That's the correct direction. Keep going. Hotter. Keep going in that direction. So your emotions are that internal GPS. But there's been a lot of questioning that I see here. There's been a lot of confusion, a lot of questioning. If you've been confused about something, the answer exists within you. This is about asking the right questions though. Are you happy here? Are you choosing something? Are you staying in the same place that you're in because of a limiting belief? Is there like a limiting belief that's holding you back? Is there fear that nothing better exists for you? Is that what's holding you back? Is that why you're staying here? What kind of belief is it that's holding you back? Because the Queen of Swords also deals with our internal beliefs. This is time for us to question our beliefs. Do I believe that something better exists for me? No. Well, does that make you feel bad? Well, then it's the wrong answer. Do I believe that something better can exist for me? Well, sort of. That's a little bit better, right? That's a bit better. That's getting a bit better emotionally. That means you're getting into better emotional alignment. So what are you currently believing? What are you currently focused on? The answer exists within you. This is about learning how to trust yourself rather than constantly questioning other people. Like, do you think I can do it? No. It matters what you think, because the only person that's going to get you from point A to point B. So for example, I'm getting that you might even be like looking for answers outside of you, okay? So this is the message for those of you that resonate with maybe looking for answers outside of you. If you're trying to get from point A to point B, you're trying to get from here to here, okay? And that's your goal. And maybe you're like, I don't fully trust myself, so let me go look for answers outside of me. Let me ask my friend, do you think I can get there? And then your friend's like, I don't know, like, I've never done that before, I don't know, like, maybe, like, I see it within you, like, depending on whatever they say. And then we're like, oh, okay. But guess what? We're never going to fully feel that unless we tell ourselves that we believe it. The only way that we're going to believe it is if we find it in ourselves. And guess what? No matter what anybody else tells you, if they think that you can or cannot, that does not matter, because they're not the ones going from point A to point B. Your belief is what's going to take you there, because you're never going to change your decisions. You're never going to take that step unless you believe it. And even if you take that step anyway, because your friend's like, oh, I got you, I'm cheering you on, we might get scared. We might cancel ourselves out. The only way that you're going to get from here to here is if you start believing in you. That's when you start getting there. Is when you start trusting yourself, trusting in you, trusting in your decisions. Spirit really wants you to trust in yourself. And it's interesting that you chose pyrite, because pyrite is the crystal of self-confidence. And no wonder you're drawn to that energy, because Spirit right now wants to give you encouragement of self-confidence right now. Spirit is like, it's time for you to begin trusting in yourself and feeling your own sense of confidence. I'm also going to quickly read you what pyrite says, just so I can show you what I mean right here. So this is, let's see, number 45. Okay, so just like it says, inherent value, knowing your worth, self-appreciation, genuine abundance, and prosperity within. So throughout the ages, humans have sought gems of the earth, the crystals whose beauty delighten the eye and whose powers could aim them in their quest to achieve a sense of safety and abundance. They recognized the intrinsic value of these gifts from nature. And when pyrite spirit appears, you're meant to appreciate the abundance that the conscious universe has provided. An abundance of opportunities, resources, support, and most importantly, love. A scarcity mentality will prevent you from seeing all that is available to you. Wow, this part resonates, does it not, with what we were talking about? Okay, let me just read this last paragraph. Let me restart this last paragraph, because that is like freaking like on the money here. A scarcity mentality will prevent you from seeing all that is available to you and all that you are called now to offer, thanks to the myriad of gifts you've been given to help you achieve balance. Let me read that again, because that was kind of like a little bit of a run-on sentence there, but it makes sense. So a scarcity mentality will prevent you from seeing all that is available to you. So when you're scared, it'll prevent you from seeing all that's available. And you are being called now to offer thanks to the myriad of gifts that you've been given to help you achieve balance. So you actually have internal gifts within you that can help you achieve balance, just like we were talking about. And there's even more than just the internal GPS that you have. You have a myriad of gifts within you that can lead you to ultimate success, okay? As you take your healing journey, you will find it easier and easier to recognize that you will always have what you need. You have it within you. You don't need something outside of you to begin this journey. You may be feeling like you don't have enough. So another thing about the star is she reminds us that we can start from nothing. So that's a message I'm going to get into in just a second. But so yeah, as you take your healing journey, you'll realize that you always have what you need. So abundance awaits you as you are ready yourself to claim it. Abundance awaits you as you ready yourself to claim it. The conscious universe has your back. What you need will not be denied you at this time. I think that she means to write for you. I think that was a typo in here. So what you need will not be denied to you at this time. So open yourself to receiving it by practicing appreciation. So this is about you also realizing that you have enough to begin where you are right now. You might be feeling like, oh, well, I don't have this. I don't have maybe the knowledge I need. I don't have a PhD in this, so who am I to talk about it? Or I don't have this, or I don't have that, or I don't have the right equipment. I don't have the amount of money that I need. There is stories of people starting with absolutely nothing, but they take small steps at a time. And then they keep reinvesting that. Any momentum that they gain, they reinvest that into moving forward again. They reinvest into moving forward again. There's countless stories of people who began with $0 to their name, like Rocky. I forgot his what the guy's name is. I think Sylvester Stallone is the Rocky guy. But when he wrote the Rocky script, he's the one that wrote it. And he made a decision that I'm going to be the lead character in it. And he had zero money at the time. He even sold his dog just to get $30 to buy himself food. And his dog was like his best friend. I hope I'm not like butchering this story right now, but he had absolutely nothing. And then he wrote the Rocky script, like Rocky Balboa. And he was trying to sell it. And basically they didn't want him to be the actor in it. They're like, no, we're going to find a different actor. And he was like, no, I'm going to be the actor. And they offered him $100,000 when he had $0 to his name. He could barely even eat. They offered him $100,000 for the script. And he said no, because he wanted to be in the script, because he knew where he was going. He had confidence that his script was amazing, and he had confidence that he could act it out and that he would be the perfect lead for it. And so he said no. And then eventually they came back to him and they were like, okay, well, we're going to offer you a lot less money because we're not sure about the success of the film if you're going to be the actor in it. So we're only going to offer you $30,000 and then you can be the actor in it. And that way we're not losing out on a big investment here. And so he did that. And as we know, like Rocky is like one of like the biggest films ever, and it made Sylvester Stallone like who he is. And he made way more money because of that. So this is about you sticking to your decisions. This is about you trusting yourself even when it's hard, because of course Sylvester Stallone had to completely trust himself even when he didn't believe. At least I think it's Sylvester Stallone. I don't have my phone with me to Google if I'm like correct on that, but I think I have the right story. But either way, this is a story about that actor from Rocky, yeah. So basically, he had to trust himself more than anybody else. Somebody who didn't trust himself would have given that script away for $100,000. And he would have never become the actor. He would have just had that $100,000. And of course, $100,000 can't really get you to retirement, really. It can get you pretty far. It's a large sum of money for sure. And most people would have taken that, especially those who didn't trust themselves and trust in their work. So Spirit's coming to you right now, asking you to fully trust in yourself. Like that guy, Sylvester Stallone, I think it was, he had nothing. He had absolutely nothing. And he would stand outside of like the bar, outside of the liquor store, which is where he sold his dog. And he waited there after he got the script and got some money back. And he was like, I'm gonna buy my dog back. And he only had 30 grand to his name because they only paid him 30 grand for the script. And the first thing he wanted to do was buy his dog back. So he was waiting for that guy to come back to that same liquor store where he sold the dog. And eventually he sees him after about a week or something and offers to buy the dog back, but the guy was like, hell no. And he's like, I will give you anything. I'll give you like $1,000. And the guy was like, no, I'm not giving your dog back for $1,000. This dog's worth way more than that. And he ended up giving him $15,000, so half of his money for his dog back. Like, it's just crazy because he just trusted himself so much. He trusted in his work. He trusted in his script. He knew that what he did, he like put his heart and soul into it, and he fully trusted it. So this is about you needing to fully take that leap of faith and begin trusting yourself, even if you have nothing. Rocky wrote that script with nothing to his name. He didn't have special producers. He didn't have a special team helping him write that script. He didn't have anything. He didn't have the most expensive laptop to help him write that script. In fact, he probably didn't even have a laptop at all. So this is about you trusting that you can get anywhere from nowhere. If you feel like you're at ground zero right now and you feel like you have nothing, this is time to start believing in yourself. Start trusting in yourself. That is the only way that you are going to get to success, because we're not going to take the right actions if we don't believe in ourselves, right? So for example, the reason why belief is so powerful, which might sound, very, woo-woo, it might sound kind of like, well, that's not anything solid, like there must be other factors. Let me explain to you why belief is the most powerful thing that you can change. That is because all human action and all human choices and decisions stem from our beliefs. So if we believe that we are not worthy, Our actions and reactions are going to be completely different from somebody who believes that they're worthy. If you believe that you can do it, you're going to take actions that are in alignment with that because you believe you can do it. If you don't believe you can do something, of course, you're not even going to try. Why would you try if you don't believe you can do it, right? Why would you even try? You wouldn't. Therefore, you're not going to gain the same opportunities. So your opportunities and your ability to align yourself to your success stem from your belief systems. Spirit right now, their guidance for you is like, baby, 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 could we not tell you enough to start believing in yourself, to have this self-confidence, to start trusting yourself? Do you think that if Sylvester Stallone, that Rocky guy, do you think that if he went to like his mom or his friend and was just like, I'm not going to get a job, but I'm going to write the best script ever and I'm going to sell it and I'm going to be the lead actor and I'm going to get it? Do you think anyone at that moment of his life where he had zero money and nothing, do you think anybody believed in him? Do you think anybody would have been like, that sounds like a great idea? I bet you if he asked anybody that question, they would have all been like, you are crazy, go get a real job, something that you can trust. They would have all said that. I don't know one person I can't imagine one person that would think and support that idea, right? It would be very rare to have somebody support that. So Spirit is like, please stop looking for validation outside of you. Stop looking for a yes outside of you. You need to be your own yes. You need to be your own believer. Because I can bet you that everyone that knew Rocky at that time was probably like, dude, go get a real job and, you know, do something practical. I bet you everyone in his life was telling him that. But he was like, nope, I'm going to tie my hair back. I'm going to write the best script ever and I'm going to be the lead actor in it. And that's going to be that. That's what I'm going to do. And look where that got him. But that came with pure faith in himself, not from anybody else. People probably thought he was crazy. So yes, Spirit is saying that your end goal, you becoming who you truly want to be, you getting your wildest dreams are only going to come from you believing in yourself, you being your own guidance, your own support, your own cheerleader. It is nice and it's so beautiful to have support from our friends and our loved ones. Absolutely, it is so nice, but we don't always get that. Right? Because other people have their own limiting beliefs on themselves. They may not believe that something like that's possible, but if you believe something like that's possible, then you get to take that action and go and do it. So yeah, Spirit is coming through about having faith. The Star is about having faith even when you have nothing, because the Star is the card that comes right after the Tower, and the Tower is when we lose everything. So the Star is when we're minimal and we have absolutely nothing. We're completely stripped of everything that we think that we need. We're just completely, we have nothing. It's the card of having nothing, okay? So Spirit is coming through being like, that's fine. You can start from there. It comes from your belief and your self-confidence, because that's going to lead you to making decisions that you would not normally make. And when you fully believe in yourself, you're going to make decisions that are in alignment with thinking that you're going to get there. And when you think that you're going to get there and you make decisions in line with that, you're going to get there. But you need to stick by it no matter how many times you're told no. Rocky was told no about being the Star and being Rocky. At least I'm pretty sure this story is Rocky. I could be completely butchering this right now, but this is a real story. I swear to God. I read it in like a personal development book, and it was like fascinating. But yeah, so this is similar to you. This is about you really believing in yourself and being your own guidance. And I know I'm kind of like repeating myself here, and you guys might be like, okay, get to the point, get to the next part. But it's so important to like really ingrain these messages, because that way it really sinks in, right? If we just say something once briefly and then we move on, a lot of the times it doesn't even register deep into our mind to where we're going to recall it later. And a lot of the times repetition helps us recall things later. That is why during these readings, when there's such a big message that comes through, that's why they end up getting repetitive, because this is the way that you end up ingraining it and recalling it later. So yeah, anyway, The next few cards that we have, this is the rest of Spirit's guidance for you. So we have the Sun card coming out. This is one of the best cards in tarot. In fact, I think it's like pretty much the best card that in tarot, because it brings about happiness and it brings this new beginning and it brings joy. So Spirit's also asking you to find the joy and find the love and the passion in doing what you do, and find the passion in rebirthing yourself. Just rebirth yourself into like believing. This is almost like that childhood. The Sun card connects to our childhood innocence. And when we're a child, we tend to believe in anything. We're just like, I'm going to be an astronaut. I'm going to be this. I'm going to be a fairy. I'm going to be a magician. Like we totally just like believe in all of these things. And it's normal for us to do that. It's normal for us to do that as a kid. The Sun card reminds us of that point in our life where we come back to that childhood innocence, where we start really believing in ourselves and realizing the power and the magic within that. So this is time for us to get back into our wildest imagination, our wildest dreams. Spirit is guiding you to reconnect with that part of yourself, because that is going to be such a motivating light force within you. We also have the Six of Swords being reversed. This is a card that talks about keep moving forward even when the road is rocky. If you know where you're going, wait, I just said Rocky and we're talking about Rocky before this, Rocky Balboa or whatever that movie is. I haven't like watched those in a long time, so I'm not even remembering the names properly. But this is basically, even when it gets rocky, let's go through it. Let's push forward. And one of the reasons why they didn't want Rocky or Sylvester Stallone to star in Rocky was because his voice too. They were like, oh, you have a weird voice, we don't want you to be a star. But that ended up being like one of his like most main rememberable like qualities in those movies. I think if he was not the star of it, it would not be the same, you know what I mean? So even when it gets rocky, this is time for you to trust yourself, regardless of if the boat's rocking, regardless of if it feels like the outcome wasn't what we wanted. If the outcome is not what you wanted, that means it's not the end of your journey. That means that you haven't reached the destination yet. So for example, if Rocky gave up when he's like, oh, well, I guess they didn't want me to be the star, so I'm just gonna give up. Oh, well, no. If it's not the outcome you want, it is not the end of your journey. There's more here. There's so much more, okay? So no matter when it gets rocky, this is about having unwavering belief and strength in yourself. That's the guidance that Spirit wants you to know right now. And we also have the Knight of Cups being reversed. The Knight of Cups being reversed is about using the senses, using our intuition. Our intuition may be currently clouded based on our lack of belief in ourselves right now, or our limiting beliefs when it comes to what we believe is possible. We might have certain barriers and limitations that might be clouding our intuition. So our intuition might be telling us no, 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 but maybe it's telling you no right now because there's a limiting belief that we need to overcome first. And this belief deals with, hey, we need to start really believing in ourselves and have unwavering kind of strength to move forward on something. The next two cards we have romance here. This is time to start romanticizing your life, romanticizing yourself, seeing your worth, my love, because as you begin doing that, as you begin showing yourself love yourself, that is one of the most powerful forms of love is for us to love ourselves. And in fact, I feel like it is the most powerful form of love when we love ourselves, because that can take us to new heights. Romance, it is a sacred power. Let it come to me this hour. It is a sacred power when we romanticize things. And I don't mean in a bad way, because romanticize can be used in a bad way, but it can also be used in a good way. So this is about you starting to romance yourself, romance your life, romance your desires, realize that you are amazing. You know, when we like fall in love with somebody and we feel like so supportive of them and we're like, go for your dreams. Yes, go for it. I want you to do that, because we want to see them the happiest that they can be. This is time for you to do that for yourself. Love yourself so much that you are your biggest support system and you're like, hell yeah, let's do it. I want to see you get there. I want to see you get to the biggest goal ever of your life. And I want to see you make it and be the happiest person that you've ever been. Be that cheerleader for yourself. This is time to love yourself and romanticize yourself and just be your biggest support. We're not always going to get it externally. And even though it's very beautiful and nice to get it externally, it's not always the case. We're not always going to have that. And look, we also have courage. It fits in so well. So this is a time of having absolute courage. By shining brave and true and bright, my courage now returns this night. This is time for you to get back your courage, baby, to start going for it. Spirit wants you, like, the message for you, group number 3, is to go for it. But it comes from believing in yourself and trusting yourself. This is about trusting you. We don't need everybody to agree with us in order for us to trust ourselves and move forward anyway. We don't need everybody to agree with us. Although it is important to have discernment and listen to, constructive criticism. Yes, that's always important. But at the end of the day, do you want to make something happen? Is it absolutely vitally important to you? Then go for it. Do it. Find a way. I believe that there's always a way to find a path to something. I believe our world works in strange ways, and there's absolute miracles that happen, and I believe it can happen to any single one of us, and I don't believe it's necessarily miracles in the sense that it's random and it doesn't happen all the time. I believe it happens all the time, and I believe it's available to all of us. I'm also going to restart my camera really quick because it cuts out every 30 minutes. Okay, we're back. So now the next 2 cards, we have transformation. Things are changing at a cellular level, deep healing. You're about to go through a major transformation as you kind of start trusting in yourself and believing in yourself, which you have the capability to do, my love. You have it within you. I'm giving you like a half heart right now because, yeah. But things are changing at a cellular level, deep healing. You're going through a major transformation and awakening who you really are rather than repressing it. You have desires not to be mocked. You were not given desires on this earth for those desires to be mocked. You were given desires because that's your soul being like, that's what I want to experience. Let's go do it. You were given that so that you know your personal direction in life. Your desires are your personal direction. You were not given them to be mocked. You were given them to learn and to experience, and to give you guidance about where to go. If we didn't have desires, none of us would do anything. There'd be no motivation for anything on this planet. But there's motivation for things because we were all given these beautiful little seeds, which are our desires, and they tell us what direction to go in life. And then if you don't know what your desires are, again, you just follow what feels good to you versus what doesn't. Your emotions will lead you to your desires, always. Then we also have take a break, a life's work, not a season, get off the treadmill. So this is about, having a balance of realizing that, we need to have the balance of rejuvenation as well as chasing after our desires. But for you, I mostly see take a break as not being so hard on yourself. Taking a break from not being so hard on yourself. Give yourself a break and start to love your life. Start to love yourself, and it'll feel more easy. It'll feel way easier to move forward. Okay, and then our next 2 cards, we have light, or 3 cards here. We have light, innocence, and blessings. This is time for you to shine your light. And not dim it just because others are intimidated by it. Not dim it because others think that you should shine differently or shine a different light or be different. This is about you following your light, your calling. Light just kind of means like your calling or your talents, your specialties, your desires, who you are, your uniqueness, okay? We also have innocence coming up. So part of us may still have this innocence to where maybe that's why we seek validation from others or seek approval from others, because maybe we trust others more than we trust ourselves. But this is a lesson of learning. The more that we go through in life, the more that we're going to learn how to trust ourselves. This is about learning how to trust yourself. You've been through enough things in your life already, group number 3, to begin trusting yourself. And to begin knowing that you have the ability to reflect within you. You have that ability to reflect. And because of that ability, you can trust yourself. You have the ability to think. Therefore, you have the ability to also begin trusting, because you're able to question things. You're able to come to your own conclusions. You're able to follow your own internal GPS. We also have the blessings here. So you're going to reach so much more success, so much more happiness. Your intuition is going to become so strong to where you're never going to question yourself or your direction ever again. The more that you begin to put trust into you, and the less that you seek external validation or external, support. And again, there's nothing wrong with support. You can accept support. That's fine. That is great. Support is a great thing. You shouldn't push support away. That's not the message here. You should not push support away. But your main support should come from you. You need to work on building your support up to where it outweighs anything else. That way, we don't rely on the external, which can leave at certain times. It's not always reliable. We can't always rely on others to be our support, because sometimes they're not always there. Sometimes it's not always there. So it's time to build up your core trust in yourself and have that be your core. Because once that's your core, you're unstoppable. You can do anything, group number 3. That's your ability to then do and accomplish anything, is being your own support, because then you'll never need to wait for others. You'll never need to convince others in order to get the satisfaction and the support that you desire. It'll come from you. It'll come from within. Therefore, you're going to be able to tap into it at any moment. Start working on your internal self. Your internal self. That's where we're going to get this courage to be the high priestess, which the high priestess absolutely trusts herself, and her intuition is so powerful. It can lead her anywhere. She doesn't need to wait for other people to agree with her. She doesn't need to wait for anything, because her internal guidance system is so strong. Her intuition is so strong that she knows when it's a yes or no immediately. And yours is going to become like that too, with more practice of building up your own inner power, building up your own inner faith. And one of the ways that you can do that is by seeking something yourself, by telling yourself, I'm doing this on my own, I'm making this choice on my own, I'm doing this activity on my own. And the more that you do that, the more you're going to realize that you can learn on your own, you can figure problems out on your own. And the more that you do it on your own, the more trust and rapport you're going to build with yourself. Because you're going to start to realize, oh, hey, I got this. I did do it on my own. And once you start doing it on your own, again, those are the experiences that lead you to realizing, I can do things on my own. This is great. I can make decisions on my own, and I don't need, of course, it's nice to have other people. It's very nice, but we don't need it. Okay. So that is what we have here. We're also going to just shuffle a quick last few cards to get any last info on this reading. So group 3, any last info from Spirit? Okay, we have Get Wild. Starting to let your true self shine. Let your wild side out. Let yourself shine. No more need to hold it back or anything like that. Then we're also going to just shuffle these last few cards, and these ones are like some beautiful guidance from Spirit. They're like really inspiring messages, and they've been very, very powerful too. So group 3, we have Dream. So follow your yearning for the deep blue sea. So the Dream card, follow your dreams, is literally telling you follow your dreams. So that fits in really well. Anchor, keep yourself grounded. But guess what? The best way to keep yourself grounded is through yourself, not relying on anybody else's anchor, because anybody else's anchor can take off at any moment. Not saying that it necessarily will, but it can. That's the thing. We need to start relying on ourselves. We also have Communicate. Things left unsaid will never reach the shore. Wow. And then we also have Travel. Seeing the surface of the ocean is not the same as diving deep to see the coral. Wow. These are powerful messages to end us off. Group number 3. Okay, so Communicate. Things left unsaid will never reach the shore. So I think that this deals with you questioning yourself more to realize and build faith and trust with yourself, but questioning yourself in the right way. And starting to realize hey, I can do this, can't I? Why not? Why not? I can. Start looking for reasons why you can. Okay? This is also changing the way you communicate with yourself to be more positive. And then seeing the surface of the ocean is not the same as diving deep to the coral. So just seeing the surface level of certain things and being like, oh, well, I don't have this and I don't have that. That's surface level. Dive deep into the ocean, you're going to realize you didn't need that. So diving deep into something, so for example, like starting a YouTube channel and thinking that you need to buy like a $5,000 camera with a $2,000 lens and you need all this lighting equipment. No, you don't. Guess what? You have a phone, maybe, and then there's a window which offers light. There you go. There's your lighting system. And in fact, that's better lighting than any other lighting equipment you could ever get. So it's realizing that you can do what you can with the resources that are in front of you. You can do what you can with the resources that are in front of you. You can get anywhere at any time. So realizing that our current beliefs are just surface level. There's so much more when you dive down. There's so many more opportunities. There's so much more available to us than we currently realize. Okay, so that is what we have for you, group number 3. I hope it made sense. I hope it offered the guidance that you needed at this time. I feel like Spirit came through very strongly in this reading. I loved it, so hopefully you guys enjoyed it as well. And if so, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button down below if you want to see videos like this in the future, because I'd love to have you there. And hopefully I see you in my next one. Bye. Okay, so group 4, if you chose this pile, then this is going to be your reading, so let's get right into it. Okay. Group number 4, look at what we have for you. We have the 6 of Wands being reversed, the Lovers being reversed, and the Judgment being reversed. So Spirit has a clear message. What these cards, the 3 cards that we have coming out at first are sort of the current situation that Spirit really wants to bring guidance on and focus on and talk about. And then I also pulled the Amber card for you. So we'll talk about what that means in a second. But the major focus, the fact that we have Lovers right in the center of this reading, talks about other people in our lives. And so what Spirit really wants to give you guidance on is what I'm seeing in here is like a judgment from others regarding yourself or kind of, okay, I'm not explaining this right, hold on. So Spirit sees that one of the major things that's holding you back in your life right now is fear of judgment, fear of what other people might think or say, or the fear of the reaction from other people, or becoming different than what people currently see us as. Like people, we might fear like, oh, well, people see me as this way. So that's how I need to show up because people see me this way and people see me that way. And I want to make sure that people don't see me wrongly. I want to make sure that people don't misjudge me, or I want to make sure that people don't judge me in general, that judge or say anything. There could be all these different factors, but Spirit is basically coming through right now to tell you, group number 4, that this has been holding you back from so much success and so much potential. And Spirit is like, baby, please don't let anybody hold you back from doing what you want to do, especially if it's so in alignment with your soul and with your heart. And if you have a calling for something, like a true calling for something, this is about honoring yourself enough and being your own sort of like leader and not needing the validation or acceptance of others, not needing people to always agree with you, not caring about the judgment of others. And again, when people judge us, like it usually stems from a place of pain within themselves, right? Because normally if people are absolutely in love with life, they love life and it's so great and they're having a great experience, they're not going to judge you by doing something that you want to do. They're not going to feel that way. So it says more about them if they judge you than it does say about you, okay? So that's one way to ease the amount of sort of pain that we feel through the fear of judgment, right? Because again, whenever somebody judges us, it says more about them than it says about us, because somebody that's living their greatest life and then you go out and do whatever it is that you want to do, somebody that is living their greatest life is not going to start judging that and mocking you and thinking certain things, saying certain things. They're not going to do that. Whenever people judge, it comes from a place of pain within themselves. So if you have a desire to start doing something or to start pursuing something and we're scared about what other people may think or say, this is coming through as a reminder that if they say anything, it's probably stemming from their own guilt about not pursuing their own desires, or their belief that they can't achieve their desires. If somebody doesn't believe that they can achieve their desires and they see you going out to try to attain something that doesn't seem possible for them, of course they're going to mock you. But that says that they don't believe that they're worthy or capable of that. That's why they mock you. That's why they have that judgment. Somebody who totally believes that it's possible, somebody who's achieved their own dreams and they see you trying to achieve yours, they're going to be like, oh, hell yeah. Yes, go for it. I see potential within you. Those who see potential within you realize more potential within themselves. Those that see incapabilities within you, those who see like, oh, who are you to try that? Like, good luck. That's because they don't believe they could do it either. Or they don't believe that they are a success. They may have their own traumas within them that are stemming out. So again, don't fear judgments, because it doesn't say anything about you. It says things about that person giving the judgment, okay? So that's one way to, again, ease the feelings that we get around judgment. Spirit is also saying that there's a lot in front of you that you could be so successful at, because we have 6 of Wands coming up, but it is reversed at the moment. And it's reversed at the moment because we're not feeling our own confidence, and maybe we are currently, we currently have our desires on a pedestal, or possibly we just feel unconfident in the moment or insecure. If that's the case, Spirit is saying that is what's holding you back from your success. Because if you decide to embrace your confidence and own yourself and own your abilities, this card would be upright. And guess what? That would indicate that success is coming your way. So success is literally on your doorstep, group number 4. But we need to be confident enough to open up that door. We need to be confident enough to open up that door and walk through it to get to the other side, where we're going to find that package of success that's been waiting for us. Okay? So this is about keeping yourselves around people that do support you. If there's people that don't support you in your life, or there's people that are really hindering you and your abilities, if you have people in your life that are really weighing you down and hindering you, it's time to move on. It is time to find people that really resonate with you and really support you, because that's going to up-level you so much. There's no point in being around people or keeping people around that weigh you down. Of course, there's no point to that. We know that, right? And especially people who judge a lot. People who judge a lot, it's so hard and so draining to be around that all the time. So this might even be coming through for us to even let go of some of our own judgments on other people. Maybe we find ourselves judging people very often. Maybe we find ourselves constantly talking bad about somebody, or like being like, oh, look at what they're trying to do now. Ha ha ha, like how stupid. Time to stop doing that. If you find yourself doing that, it's time to end those things, because again, our judgments reveal more about the person thinking the judgment than it does about the person receiving the judgment. Most of the time, like 90% of the time, it's about that person rather than anything else. So Spirit is coming through with the guidance of being able to begin letting go of judgments. It's important to be open to criticism. Criticism is essential to our growth. It is absolutely vitally essential to our growth. But the things that we can discard and forget about is destructive criticism. There's a such thing as destructive criticism and just criticism in general, but then there's constructive criticism, things that are constructive to ourselves. That's what we should embrace. We should embrace the constructive criticism. And even when somebody's criticizing us, we can take it as an opportunity to grow and ask ourselves, okay, is there anything constructive in here that I can work on? If not, completely just disregard the criticism. It doesn't freaking matter. Criticism is just criticism. But if we can find seeds of wisdom, if we can find seeds of constructiveness within them, especially if it's a constructive criticism feedback that we're getting, then that's beautiful. It's essential to our growth and it's amazing. We should always embrace those moments. So Spirit's coming through like, don't disregard judgment altogether, because judgment is essential to growth. But we need to start getting used to judgment and also beginning to love ourselves enough to where we love what we do more than we are worried about the criticism, and we need to love and desire to grow so much that criticism doesn't scare us. And of course, everyone's kind of scared of criticism. I don't think any of us are like, hell yeah, give me some criticism. But at the same time, there is a difference between being like, I can't do something, I'm so nervous, what are they gonna say? Versus, I'm gonna do it, and I know I might get criticism, but I'm gonna learn from it, and we're just gonna go for it, okay? Those are the two different perspectives that we could have here, right? So, yeah, that is the main message that Spirit has. We also have a lot more cards to get into, but I want to talk about this amber really quick. And I'm going to tell you what it says in this book about what amber is. This is like the meanings. Okay, so let's see. This says healing family patterns as one of the biggest things that's coming up here. Releasing karma, preserving the wisdom gained by the lessons of the past. Okay? So the families we come into as infants and the ones we grow up in offer us experiences that yield gifts, lessons about love, about resilience and forgiveness, and about our own power to leave behind old ways and embrace the new. So every family has its sort of problems, right? And sometimes we can say like, oh, I can't become this because of the family I grew up in, and my family gave me all this trauma, therefore that's why I'm unsuccessful. Well, guess what? It's what we do with that. Those can end up becoming our gifts because they can end up teaching us so much, right? They can end up teaching us so much. It's what we do with it. It's what we do with it. There's people that came from the absolute most dysfunctional families and still became successful, still got on top, okay? There's stories about that all the time. So our current families do this too by exploring our relationships. Isn't that crazy how this piles about relationships? Because we had the Lovers card, and then the Amber card literally talks about relationships in this. Like, this is crazy. I never look at the cards when I am pulling them. I let them fly out of the deck, and that's what we get, and I don't look at them prior. I don't plan out which ones come out with what pile, but every freaking time we do these readings and we get random cards flying out and I put them down, they correlate with the rest of the cards so much. Like, it blows my mind every time. I'm still not used to it. I've been doing these readings for literally most of my life thus far, and not necessarily always on YouTube, but I've been doing tarot for like more than 15 years. So here we are, still getting surprised by the way tarot works. But anyway, by exploring our relationships with family members, we can discover our own strength and wisdom. Amber Spirit is here with a message to reconnect with the wounded story you still recount, one that is a legacy of your family. Wow, does this ever freaking resonate with this reading? Okay, hold on. Okay, can you heal this story and instead tell one from the perspective of love? How beautiful is it to alchemically change the experience of family? This way, you may receive and give love within a family as defined by the heart of the magic of the conscious universe, who sends people your way to make sure you have the caring and affection you need and deserve. Friends can be new family. Reflect today on the love you have created for yourself and how precious you are, a gem like no other. Reflect on the family surrounding you, the guides and manifestations of the conscious universe here to support you and send you love. Love and then some more love. Love, 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 and then some more love. Look to those who choose to offer you this gift, for they are your human and animal family. Draw strength from knowing that love shows up always to bring you what was missing in your own family in the past. This balm is available for you to heal the family wound that was hurt for too long. Wow. So that could be taken in multiple different ways. That could be taken, again, with our friends, our friend group family, our family, our partner family. Like, you know, it could come out in so many different ways. So basically, what's coming through right now is to heal relationships in your life. This is a guidance to heal relationships and also not feel wounded by your relationships, not feel like they're hindering you, because they can't truly, truly, truly ever hinder you. Nothing has control over you. You are the only one that has control over you. We think that others have control over us. We think and we can tend to blame other people for our problems, which of course all of us do have certain, you know, negative things that we've experienced in our childhood growing up. We all have that. at different degrees, right? At different degrees. But what you do with your life now is up to you, okay? That's the magic secret ingredient and guidance that Spirit wants to give you right now, is that you decide what, and look at the card we have next. We literally have the Chariot next. You get to decide the direction you go in. That's the Chariot. You get to decide the direction that you go in. You don't have to stop in front of an obstacle. So the Chariot, if you come across a dead end, does that mean you can't move forward anymore? What do we do when we're at a dead end? What do we do when we feel like we've reached a wall and we're like, oh, well, does that mean I can't reach my dreams anymore? If you're trying to make it from, this is such an overused example, but we're just going to use it again. If you're trying to drive from LA to New York and you reach a dead end because they're doing construction on the road, does that mean you have to turn back and go back to LA? Does that mean you're stuck where you are? Does that mean that's it? Does that mean it's the end of your journey? Does that mean that's as far as you'll ever make it? Does that mean that that's your cap? Does that mean that that's your limit? No, we all know that that's absurd. There's always a different route. There's always a different route. Spirit is coming through right now to tell you you can still make it anywhere you want to go. It doesn't matter what you came from. It doesn't matter your past. It doesn't matter if you live in Arizona. It doesn't matter if you live in Utah. It doesn't matter if you live in Canada. It doesn't matter if you live wherever. If your destination is New York for whatever reason, you can make it there. There's always ways. There's always a how. There's always a way. Even if you live across the ocean, there's always a way. There's ships, there's airplanes, there's boats. And even though we're like, oh, but I can't afford that. What if I can't? Guess what? We can make it happen. We can make it happen. We can go get a job. We can save up as much as we can, and then until we can afford to get there and go there. There is always a route, even if that detour is longer than what it would be if it was just straight soar sailing, but it never is. It rarely ever is for anybody. There's always a route, there's always a way. There's always a detour if we reach a challenge or an obstacle or a dead end. There's always an alternative route. It is never, ever truly the end of a journey. So, Spirit is coming through hard with these messages right now. We also have the Eight of Cups being reversed. So there's something you wanted, but you walked away from it. It's time for you to return to it. Spirit's like, it's time for you to come back to what you really want to do. It is time for you to return back to your truest desire and to start taking that journey instead of abandoning it. You don't need to abandon ship, okay? Nor do we need to walk away from our dreams out of fear. We don't need to walk away from our dreams from fear. We don't need to walk away from our dreams because of the obstacles and dead ends we've run into. It just means we need to explore a new route. Sometimes we need to come back because we realize that road had a dead end. So now we need to come back from our finishing place. Let's take another road. How much does it mean to you to get to your dream life? How much difference would that make your life? How much more different would that make your life? Okay, so ask yourself, if you stop where you are right now and you just let that be your dead end, what is your life going to look like? Instead, if you backtrack, which might be painful, it might kind of suck to have to go backwards for a second and to find another route. You know, it takes energy, it takes time. But if we're making it to our destination, is it worth it to you? What would your life be like if you made it to your destination? Would it be worth it? Most of the time, like 99.99999% of the time, I say absolutely freaking worth it. And you're not the exception. I'd say honestly 100% of the time it's worth it to make it to your desires, okay? It's worth it to make it to your desires. It is worth it to have progress in your life. That is what the human experience is all about. That's where fulfillment comes from. Fulfillment comes from progress. So if we reach a dead end, we're going to need to find progress in another alternative route. So, with that being said, let's get into our next few cards here. So we have grace coming through. So grace, blessings come to me to set me free. your life can be so much more graceful. And I think a lot of more grace and more understanding and more ease is coming into your life very shortly. But more ease is going to come into your life once you start really believing in yourself and going in the directions that you really desire to go in, without letting people and past experiences hold you back. We also have true love come to me. Guys, this is about being surrounded by the most truest love, by the most truest people, the most truest relationships. These people are people that treat you with grace, that treat you with kindness, and they're found through following our heart and connecting with our heart. So true love shall come to me, and as I do will, so mote it be. This is about trusting that true love is available for you. Some of you may already have like great love in your life. And in that case, I would say this is about surrounding yourself with more people that are in alignment with that, friends that are in alignment with that, your soul tribe, healing with family. We also have new beginnings coming up. So a new beginning with people that you love, the people that you love in your life. Okay, so there's healing coming around that. The next couple cards, we have Pillar of Light. Your vibration is rising. You are the oracle. So you can be that change. We don't have to wait for other people to change it, because we cannot rely on others. We have to rely on ourselves. So if we want change, we have to be that change. If we want change, we can't wait around for it to happen. We need to be that pillar of light. We need to be that beacon that begins it. We need to get over our own pride, our own ego. If you want something, make it happen. Be the change. Start rolling the dice. Align your life. What is no longer in alignment with who you truly are? Okay, so it's time to shatter and get rid of the broken pieces, getting rid of this is cleaning out the closet and aligning your life with who you really are. What do you really want your life to look like? What would the most ideal life look like to you? Let's take action towards it. Let's make it happen instead of waiting for it to happen. This might sound really harsh right now, but for some reason Spirit's saying this right now. And they're saying, nobody is coming to save you. Be your savior. Be your warrior. Invoke that power within you. You are that warrior, okay? Let's stop waiting around for somebody else to do it. Let's do it. Let's be it. Okay? Let's take control of our lives. If we want something to happen, let's make it happen. Okay? That message is coming through strong. I know that might sound real intense, but Spirit's being intense. Spirit is not holding back today, okay? Then we also have the card of turn away. What have you turned your back on, group 4? Have we turned our back on something? I feel like for one, you've turned your back on something, and 2, Spirit is also asking you to stop focusing on the past. This card is telling you to stop focusing on the past because it's not serving you. 2, it's also asking you, you've turned away from something that means a lot to you. What is our ideal life? How can we fix things? How can we make things happen? How can we make our most ideal life come to fruition? There's something in your past that you need to let go of and stop clinging on to in order to heal. Oh, and then we have letting go. Well, look at that. I mean, that fits in so well. Turn away, let go. It is time for us to stop clinging to the past. It is not serving us. It is not serving us. Clinging on to negativity from the past ends up being toxic within us. It eats away at us. It's not good. It's like choosing to drink the poison and not clear it from our system. It is time to let go, because that is clearing the poison from your system. And it allows us and opens up room and space for healing. It opens up space for a new start to happen. So align your life. What is no longer in alignment with who you truly are and who you want to be and where you want to end up and where you want to go. It's time to be the pillar of light. You are the oracle. Your vibration is rising. You need to be the leader of this. Be the leader of your own life and the outcomes that you want in your own life. Okay, let's see what else Spirit has to say. We have the seeker. So whatever you want, you must seek it out. If you desire an outcome, you need to be the one who seeks that outcome instead of waiting for somebody else to do it. If you desire it, it's time to do it. Now, manifest. Look at the only way to manifest is when you take action. Manifestation involves taking action. A lot of people don't talk about that, but manifestation involves taking action. We can't just sit around and think about something. We need to also take actual action towards it most of the time. That's how manifestation comes about. Okay? Let's also shuffle these last few cards here to get any last messages for my lovely group 4s. So we have Prudence. Don't be lured by the siren song. So I feel like what this is saying, don't be lured by the siren song, it can be tempting to allow our emotions to lead us. So for example, if we have hatred, if we have like a revenge-seeking attitude, if we have these bad emotions that are like, I don't like this. Although deep down inside, we're probably like, oh, I really wish that I could fix that. I want a good family life, or I want a good relationship. I want a good this, I want a good that. But yet we're tempted by all of these negative things like, oh, they should pay, they should learn their lesson, they should do this, they should do that. Don't be lured by the siren song. Don't be lured about the negativity, because do you actually want negativity in your life? Do you actually truly desire negativity? None of us, I can tell you, nobody on this planet actually desires negativity. Anytime that we act in negative ways, anytime that we're acting in negative ways, is because we believe that there's a positive outcome through the negativity, or we're so lost in kind of a subconscious thing, we're lost in our pain. That's being lured by the siren song. We are lost in our pain and we don't know how to let it go. That is why people act in negative ways, is because we end up being consumed and lost by pain. But nobody actually wants and desires negative outcomes. They just get consumed by pain and they want to be understood. That's why people also inflict pain on others, is because they want to be understood. That's what it comes down to. And I know that sounds very simple. It sounds like a big generalization. I know that that sounds like that. But when you actually get to the root and the bottom of why all humans take action, it leads back to those very simple things, which sound very simple. It sounds like a big generalization. But when you really get to the root of all problems, they come by that. So this song, or this card, is saying, don't be lured by the siren song. The siren song is that temptation. It's the temptation that like, they should pay. Or like, negative emotions. Like, they don't deserve me. They don't deserve that. Don't be lured by these dark feelings, because that's not what you really want. Nobody actually wants that. Okay? So let's see what else we get. Any last messages for my group 4s? Let's see. We have moved. The barnacles only grow on a docked ship. So if we notice like negativity is coming into our life, or like all these different things, it's because we've docked our ship because we thought we reached a dead end. So we like stopped moving forward, and we're wondering like, oh, why is all this other stuff happening in my life that I didn't want to happen? Things that are out of my control that I'm not trying to make happen. Barnacles grow in a docked ship. So if we're not leading our life, basically what this means, I'm going to restart my camera really quick because it's about to cut out, but hold on. Okay, so what this means, barnacles only grow in a docked ship, it means that if we're not deliberately choosing the direction of our life and we're deliberately moving forward where we want to go, life will choose for us what happens. Things around us will begin controlling us. It'll feel like we're out of control, but that it's because it's almost like sitting in a river in a boat. If we're not choosing where to row our boat in that river, we get swept along with the current. We get swept along with current events. We get swept along with the current of everything else that's pushing us in the direction of where everything else is going. But if we decide to move and we know where we're going and we have a clear direction, barnacles are not going to grow on that ship. They can't. It's moving. It's going in its own deliberate direction. Therefore, all the other current events and current things pass us by. They don't dock on our ship. Okay? So that is the key. That is an absolute key. So it was a beautiful message to end off our reading. Okay, so that was the message, that was the guidance that Spirit had for you in this moment, my group number 4s. I hope that made sense. I hope it resonated with you. I hope it offered some guidance that you maybe needed at this time. If you enjoyed this reading, then definitely give it a big thumbs up to let me know that. Hit the subscribe button down below if you do want to see more videos like this in the future, because I'd love to have you there. And hopefully I see you in my next one. Bye. Oh, I also want to mention, because I know we left that off on a really intense note, you're going to get to your ultimate desires, my love, group 4. I know I started like cleaning up this reading already, but you're going to get to your ultimate desires. That's the thing. We had that manifest card here. You can manifest your wildest dreams, but it requires you to intentionally move forward with intention, with deliberate intention, and decide where you want to go. That's why we have Chariot here. This is deciding where you want to go and not letting certain things stop you. You will manifest all your wildest dreams, okay? So I just wanted to add that in there before actually fully leaving this reading. So love you guys so much. So much love to you. Anyway, I'll see you in my next video. Bye. Okay, group number 5. If you chose this group, then this is going to be a reading. So let's get right into it. Okay, so group 5, here's what we have for you. We have the 8 of Swords being reversed, the Page of Pentacles being reversed, and we have the 6 of Pentacles upright. I also pulled the Apache Tears card for you. So we're gonna get into what that means, but first let's talk about this. These 3 cards are representing the topic that Spirit wants to discuss with you and I guess give guidance on. And when the Page of Pentacles is reversed, it indicates that we may be going through a time that feels like whenever we begin something, it maybe backfires or it doesn't turn out the way that we want, or whenever we have an idea, it doesn't seem to come to fruition fully, or it seems like we have a hard time taking action, or we have a hard time seeing how something's gonna happen. Maybe we have a hard time believing in ourselves or getting started on something or finding a way or a means to make it happen. And it just seems like it feels like the world or things are kind of not really moving forward in the way that you want them to. And the guidance that Spirit wants to give you is that we need a more solid plan of action to really make this happen. And we're needing to give more to our dreams and to our goals in order to make them happen. So there's like kind of almost a learning lesson here to where it's not going to be easy in the beginning. It's not going to just feel like it just happens, then we have overnight success and then it turns into something that's easy. This is something that we need to like give time and attention to for it to build up momentum. We may also be seeking help. We may be like, oh, can you do this for me? Can you do this for me? Instead of us learning how to do it. We may think that we need somebody to do it for us. So a big message that I'm getting here in the 6 of Pentacles is that we may be looking for and seeking like where can I find the help, which of course sometimes we totally do need help, but what Spirit really wants you to know right now, the guidance that Spirit has for you is learn it yourself. Learn it yourself. That way you can get started on this. Let's learn it. Let's put the effort in to learning. And that's why Page of Pentacles is reversed here, because we might be thinking like, oh, I don't have the skills and abilities, I need to find it elsewhere. We might be, for example, if we're wanting to like write a novel, but we're like, oh, but I don't have a publisher. I need a publisher before I can write a novel. Most authors who have ever published anything write their first novel before ever having a book deal. And in fact, a lot of the times their first novel doesn't even get a book deal. A lot of the times. But they keep going. That's how they become authors, is they keep going until they get a book that gets a book deal, and then they can publish the other ones because then they get a more of a name and reputation for themselves. So Spirit is telling you to go forward even if you don't have everything you need right now. So even if you don't have the publisher, write the book anyway. Most people don't start off with publishers. If you're wanting to like build a business, right? Like say you're wanting to build a business, but maybe we don't have $100,000. Well, most people start their first business sometimes with only $10. Sometimes even with $1, but they invested into something and then keep investing that and then take whatever, you know, profits they get from that small, tiny investment and then invest it back in. So it keeps growing and it builds momentum, right? It builds momentum. So even though you may not have everything that you think you need right now, Spirit is like, move forward anyway. And we may feel like, oh, well, I need somebody who's an expert in that. Before I start my business, I need a marketer. Well, most businesses don't get a marketer until way later, until they have more of a reputation for themselves and they can hand off some of that business because they get so busy that they can no longer do their own marketing. Spirit is telling you right now to learn all the things that you need to learn. You be the leader, you be the learner. So if you're wanting to start something, it may not happen if we're constantly waiting for everyone else to fill the external roles that we may need. We need to be that person ourselves. A lot of people even, for example, publish their own first book because they don't get a book deal. And so they just self-publish it. You can self-publish a lot of times almost for free on Amazon. And then, that you can take the profits from that, and then hopefully maybe your next book deal, or your next book that you write, maybe it'll get an actual book deal and end up in a bookstore. There's always methods. There's always alternative methods. We may not have everything right away, but who does? Who has the world given to them when they're first starting? Basically nobody, right? Basically nobody. It's pretty rare. And a lot of the times the people that do end up not really respecting their work as much because they never had to work for it. They never had to know the struggle of getting to where they get to. So a lot of the times it can be very worth it to start now. I know for me, when I started YouTube, I didn't have a background in video editing. I didn't know about video editing at all, but I had to watch a bunch of videos on YouTube about how to video edit until I could learn it. And then I was like, oh, okay, so that's how you like cut a clip. That's how you put clips together. That's how you do this. That's how you do that. So this is asking you, like, learn it. This is telling you to learn. Spirit's coming through asking you to learn something, and also to have enough faith and belief in yourself that you can do it. Instead of quitting right when it gets tough. Instead of quitting right when it kind of gets boring, right when you have to do the other stuff. Because I'll promise you, when you're doing anything, even though you really want to do it, so say you really want to be a YouTuber, but then all of a sudden learning the background of video editing is kind of like mundane and boring. That stuff, it can be boring, but if you really want to be a YouTuber, you're going to have to get through some of the dirty work too, some of the work that we don't want to do. If you want to be an interior designer, sometimes we also have to learn how to like clean up a house, or maybe even slightly renovate a house and do the dirty work in order to get it looking the way we want it. Sometimes, I know I'm just throwing out a random idea there. Not all the time we need to do that, but sometimes, you know what I mean, right? So we all start at different places. And Spirit right now is like, if you have a goal that you really want to reach, don't wait around for the right people to come into your life. Start it now. The right people are going to come once you're already on the journey. If you're not on the journey, how are you going to meet the right people? How are you even going to be in that same environment to even network and meet those people? Like, it's going to be really rare. So go and do it now, because it's going to help teach you everything that you need to know. Learning these things are going to help you so much in starting this, and pushing through on it, even during the mundane parts of it, are going to get you to that end goal. Otherwise, we're not going to get there. But I see you being very successful, the Six of Pentacles, to where you can then almost teach other people how to do it. And people will wonder, like, how did you do that? How did you break out of these barriers? Start from nothing and get to here. How did you get there? How did you do it? And then you're going to be able to share that knowledge with them and be like, guess what? I started from nothing. That is the most inspiring story. That story is also surprisingly very common. So if you're feeling like it's impossible, guess what? It's not impossible to start from nothing. In fact, that's decently common to start from like ground zero. Most people do. So you have what it takes, and Spirit right now is giving you the message and wants to give you the message that you have what it takes. Group 5, you have it within you. This is about getting past your own limitations. The Eight of Swords being reversed is getting past your own limitations. Page of Pentacles being reversed is going for it even once it gets boring, even if it feels like it's backfiring. It is being able to reflect and learn from those backfires instead of taking them as failures. So if something goes wrong, it's important not to look at it as a failure. It's important to, if something goes wrong, or if something doesn't go our way, or if we're not achieving the results we want as quickly as we want, then it's time for us to reflect and ask ourselves, what can I change and do differently? It doesn't mean that you're a failure if things are not going as you want. That doesn't mean you're a failure. That doesn't mean that at all. It means you're on the stepping stone of your journey, and you're about to learn a hell of a lot more that's going to make you even more successful. That's what that means. Okay? I know I'm getting like, I'm getting direct here, but spirit, sometimes I let the energy of spirit kind of just come through, and I notice sometimes spirit gets intense, okay? So if you're feeling like this reading is getting intense, I'm letting spirit just speak in these readings, and I've noticed for like all of them so far, spirit has had really strong messages for every single group so far. And I notice sometimes my energy gets intense during them, and I'm not even like trying to get intense, but I'm just letting spirit just come through how spirit wants to come through of the energy of that. And spirit's just being intense today, so I must apologize on spirit's behalf, even though spirit's just like, let it be intense. But like, I'm just saying, okay? So anyway, and I know how woo-woo that might sound, but I'll just let it be what it is. So the Page of Pentacles being reversed here. No matter how difficult it gets, no matter how many roadblocks we reach, it doesn't mean that that's the end. It doesn't mean that we're a failure. It doesn't mean that, you know, we need to give up. Also, spirit is like, we need to gain some strength right now, group number 5. We need to gain some strength here to push forward even when things get mundane or even when things get hard, because that's the only way you're gonna get to that end goal. And trust me, it is so worth it. But it's like, it's almost like going to the gym and lifting a heavy weight. In order to build muscles, we need to lift heavier weight, and it's going to feel hard. We're gonna be like, frick, I don't wanna do that. That's why a lot of people work out in the morning, because in the morning, the morning is the best time to do the hardest part of your day. It's the best time to do the hardest part, because once that's over, it's smooth sailing instead of the buildup of anticipating a hard part. That's hard. But instead, when you wake up and you just get all of the hard stuff over with, the rest of your day is like, breath of fresh air. Instead of like, throughout the whole day being like, oh, I'm gonna have to do that tonight. Oh shit, oh my God. Like, best to do it in the morning, right? So anyway, the point of this is like, first of all, spirit is coming through to say, you can get through the hard parts, and they're here to build you into a stronger person. Because when we get successful, say you're going after a particular career or something, or a particular goal, and we're needing to learn how to push through that, that strength is essential for us to be able to sustain that goal, right? So for us to be able to sustain, for example, having really strong arms or abs, we're going to need to learn how to lift a certain amount of weight and sustain that amount of weight. It might feel hard at first, but then as we build that muscle, it'll get easier and easier, and then we'll be able to sustain those abs, those arms, and whatnot. We'll be able to sustain it. And it'll be a lot easier because we have built the muscles for it. So now us going to sustain it feels natural. It feels normal. It feels like, okay, yeah, I can totally lift that. It feels good. Instead of it being like, oh my God, it's so hard. It starts off like that though. So spirit has the message of do not give up. Once you give up, that is when things stop and when they discontinue and when they fail. Failure only happens when we give up. Giving up is failure. Roadblocks, hardship, discouragement, and challenges, those are not failure. Those are obstacles, and we can get over them by pushing through. So if there's a goal you really have, group 5, spirit is like, I see that goal, but do not give up. Do not give up, and do not feel like you need to wait around for something else to happen before you can do it. Do not wait around for something else to happen, because that something else we can't rely on something else to happen. We need to rely on ourselves. That's the only thing that we can truly, truly, truly rely on. And then you're going to get to a point here with the 6 of Pentacles where you're able to share that knowledge, and then people are going to be like, oh my God, how'd you do it? So that's what we have there. Also, the Apache Tears card, let's just read what that means. I've been taking out this book for like every group so far and like reading the definitions, because they've been like really powerful the way that they're written in the book. So Apache Tears says, before we came to this planet, our soul agreed to both experience love and loss in this lifetime, along with the pleasures and pains of being in our bodies, so that way we might experience a sense of purpose and fulfillment and find our destiny. Okay, that actually fits along very well. So if you've been getting discouraged by setbacks, if you've been feeling the pain of like, oh, this didn't work out or that didn't work out, I don't have that. We agreed to that. We agreed to experience both love and loss this lifetime, along with the pleasures and pains of being in our bodies, so that we might experience a sense of purpose and fulfillment and find our destiny. Purpose and fulfillment does not come from something happening so easily. For example, I'm sure we've all played a video game before. If not, this example may be hard for you to understand, but I feel like most of us have played a video game before. When a video game is too easy, we get bored of it and we put it away and we're like, okay, well, that's boring. I kind of got bored of that really fast. But when it's just challenging enough, it keeps our attention of wanting to get through it. And we're like, oh, I have to beat this boss. I have to beat this boss. I have to beat this boss. But if the boss is so easy that we beat him on the first punch and we're just like, okay, next level, okay, next level, okay, next level, we get through the game very fast and it's not that satisfying. It's not satisfying because we didn't get challenged to get to a goal. Satisfaction comes from having that bit of challenge in there that we can get over, and then we're like, oh, I made it. That's where all of that energy comes from. So we did agree to that this lifetime, and that's why we build video games to specifically be that way, to where they have that bit of challenge, to where we're just like, oh shit, I didn't beat the boss. Oh shit, I didn't beat the boss. Oh shit, how am I gonna beat him? And then we get that satisfaction when we finally do, and we're like, woo! That is like the best feeling, right? But video games do not have that if they're super easy. So that's why life is not super easy. Why would we build a life that way, right? So yeah. So anyway, it's to find our destiny. There is great beauty in being broken open, for a heart that has fully expanded with grief is one that truly understands that rejection is God's protection. Faith in something better coming our way will set the wheels in motion for attracting that which we most deserve. Okay, that's an important line. I'm going to repeat that. Faith in something better coming our way will set the wheels in motion for attracting that which we most deserve. Yes. Often we simply cannot recognize that there is a far better plan at work than our own. There is a far better plan at work than maybe just our own. Okay? So the message of Apache Tear's spirit is not to fear or repress your emotions. Release them through your body so you can prepare yourself to heal from the heartache and receive all that the conscious universe has in store for your pleasure and happiness. Okay? So realize that this is bringing you to ultimate pleasure and happiness. Okay? This is like that boss level that's kind of like hard to beat, but it's so satisfying when you do. So that is what you are going through right now, group 5. And that is the guidance that spirit is coming through with right now. We also have a lot more cards to get through, but that is the main message here that spirit is wanting to guide you on, is to keep going. This is like your boss level, okay? And right when you pass it, then you get to the next level and it's like, ooh, look at this whole new storyline, this whole new world that we get to explore. Because right when you pass a boss level, right, in a game, hopefully you guys have played games before, otherwise this is not going to make any sense. But right when you pass that boss level, you get to the next like world, right? And a lot of the times you get transported and you're like, now you're in the tropical world, and now you get to go through all of those sceneries and all of those games, and you're like, whoa, this is so cool to explore. And then you get to that boss level, and then it's like, ooh, now you're in the beach world, and then, oh, now you're in the snow world, the snow fantasy world. Now you're in the desert world, and now you're in the, you know, all these different things, right? So like, you're about to open yourself up to the next world, but you need to beat this level. You need to gain the strength to get to the next level, okay? You're going to, like, yeah, it's just going to open up a whole new world of opportunities for you once you do. Next, we have the 10 of Wands. So it may feel like you're carrying a lot at times. It may feel like there's a lot of burden. There's a lot of weight. It might feel like it's really challenging. But it's important to take it one step at a time and not burn ourselves out, okay? It's important to take on just as much as we can and get through that, and then do the next step, and then do the next step. We can't do it all at once. We can't rush it. So Spirit's also saying, don't try to rush it, because that means that you'd have to carry this huge load, which may weigh you down and burn you out. So take it one step at a time. Do one step at a time. Imagine trying to play a video game where you're playing 2 different levels at once. Be very difficult. Take it one step at a time. Okay? Don't overwork yourself. Don't burn yourself out. Don't rush it. Take it one step at a time, because you will get there actually a lot quicker. Imagine rushing through a boss level. You're probably not going to do it very well, and you're probably gonna have to restart. So don't rush it. Go, take your time, use a lot of conscious effort and conscious attention, and it's gonna get you to your goal a lot faster. We also have Three of Pentacles being reversed. This is also realizing that sometimes we got to learn how to do things on our own. And I think that's a big message coming here. It is also important to learn how to work with others and cooperate with others and accept help when we need it. But don't rely on others. A lot of the times it's very important to try to, for one, I think it's important, one message from Spirit is that it's important to, learn how to do things on your own. It's very important to do that. But at the same time, there is a time and place for teamwork as well. So Spirit's not saying to completely cut out the idea of teamwork, because I think teamwork will be essential at some point in your journey. It'll definitely be essential, but we cannot necessarily always rely on others or wait for others. So Spirit's saying don't wait around for help, but definitely if the option is there, it is very nice to also learn how to cooperate and do teamwork and accept help. Okay, it's very important to learn how to accept help, especially if it's benefiting us in the moment, but to not have to wait for it and need it in order to move forward. We don't need it, but it can be very helpful. So don't discard the idea of help, but also don't rely on it either, okay? So, yes, that message is coming through. Our next few cards, we have a safe home. I cast this circle roundabout. Safety is now beyond doubt. So this is like creating more structure in your life. I'm seeing this as creating more structure for you. So group 5. This is about creating structure that you can rely on. So having a plan in your life, for example, I think is going to be very beneficial. And having structure, having solidity to your goals is going to be very helpful. And creating a safe space for yourself so that you can rely on yourself, you can trust yourself, creating a safe space for you to do what you need to do. We also have authenticity, so being open and honest and truthful about the way that you're feeling, what you really want, what your true plans are. Learning how to fully express ourselves, I think, is going to be another important aspect of your journey. Being authentic, not hiding our truth, not hiding certain ins and outs, because that's going to backfire on us in the future. Learning how to be open and honest and tell everyone up front, like, this is what's going on, this is what my plans are, this is what it's going to be like. So especially if you're doing teamwork, especially if teamwork does open up for you in the future, it's so important to be authentic. So for example, explaining in detail exactly what that person's responsibilities are versus what you're going to provide versus what you're not going to provide, and like what it all entails, rather than letting them guess, because when we let them guess, that's when expectations get ruined and that's when we burn bridges. So authenticity is coming up very strongly about us needing to learn how to fully express ourselves and be fully open and honest with our work and all the things that we're doing in our life. Then we also have the love card. So falling in love with what you do. So falling in love with what you do. Aphrodite, I call to thee to bring a true love here to me. So finding what you're truly passionate about. Once you find what you're truly passionate about, that's when your direction can be very certain. And when we have a certain direction, we can become unstoppable in that, but we have to be dedicated to that direction. And that's when love comes in. We have to love what we're doing so much that we'll make it through the hard times and we're not going to give up on it. And this is about not giving up on those things. The next cards that we have birthing a new age, birthing new creations, dreaming a new world into being. Okay, so literally, this is what you're about to begin doing, group number 5. As you begin learning new things and realizing that you can do it on your own. You don't need a whole team. You don't need somebody there to help you out. You can do it on your own. You can do it on your own. You can start it on your own. Doesn't mean that the whole journey is going to be by yourself, but you can begin something on your own. So this is when you're going to start birthing a new age, birthing new creations, and dreaming a new world into being. That's when we can get super creative. We also have Council of Light, so divine orchestration, helpers in the subtle realms. So I do think that help will be coming your way along your journey, whatever it is that you're trying to do or whatever you're trying to accomplish. I do think help is going to be on its way to you after you are attracting people into your life, collaborators and a support team and other people that can help you out. But I do believe that Spirit is coming through right now for some beautiful guidance on beginning the journey right now and not waiting around for that team to come first. The team does not get built before the foundation of the dream does. The team shows up when the ship is already there. So for example, if you're trying to be a captain, you can't go around building your crew without a ship. Get the ship, then find the crew, right? So that is what Spirit is coming through as a big message. That's why we have all these collaboration cards coming up as well. We have this one being reversed because the crew's not there yet. First, we need to get the ship going. We need to get the ship going so that way we can be like, hey, crew, look it, I got a ship. You want to be on that ship? Rather than being like, so I want to get a ship. Do you want to be part of the crew? Because I want to get a ship, but you need to promise me that you want to be part of the crew first. Like, right? Like if we don't have the ship yet, how can we promise anybody? It's kind of like promising somebody a job when there's no business yet. We cannot promise somebody a job when there's no business. Let's get it going first. We might need to learn how to be the leader of that by learning all the ins and outs and doing everything ourselves at first. But that'll lead us to the crew later on. Okay, we cannot rely on that first. So you're birthing a new age, your council of light and your divine orchestration and your helpers are going to come as we move forward. I also feel like this card is reminding you that you have a universal team that's always there with you. You have your spirit guides that are always there with you. And although they're not physical and they many times cannot, do what maybe a physical person can, they can guide you to those things. And they work in beautiful ways. So they do have a great purpose and effect on us either way. The next two cards, we have discernment. Discernment coming up. So we might need to learn how to discern things on our own, how to also learn things on our own, how to make decisions on our own, to be more independent. I think a big lesson in this group is about how to be more independent. And we have truth coming out. So again, we have authenticity and truth. This is interesting. So there's something here where Spirit's really wanting us to be more open and honest, to speak our authenticity, maybe to write something down so that we can get a clearer idea and a clearer image in our mind of what our truth is and the direction that we're going in, because that may also help out. But there's something here about being also very honest, especially when your counsel does show up, when your team starts showing up. We need to very much learn how to be authentic and truthful. And if we don't have a team yet, and we don't have a business yet, we need to also be honest and truthful about that. Just be like, if we are meeting people and we can't make them empty promises, like, hey, do you want to work for this business? Well, where's the business, right? We need to learn how to be honest and truthful with others, because that's how we're going to gain respect, rapport, and trust with others. Having trust within a team is so important. I would say that's one of the most important, if not the most important thing within a team. And for some reason, that's a huge thing that's coming up right here. So, yeah. Let's see what else we get for group 5. So group 5, what other messages do we have for group 5? There's also a weird noise outside just now. I don't know if the microphone picked that up, but that was a little strange. Okay, anyway, group 5, let's see. We have the creator. So you can be the creator. You have it all within you. Spirit's coming through some guidance right now, being like, hey, you have what it takes. You can be that leader. You can be the creator. You don't need to wait for other people to help create it with you. You can be the creator. You can begin it right now. We also have withdraw. So this is a time of reflection and learning. I think that this is about withdrawing yourself for a moment so that you can learn what you need to learn. Let's see, let's gain any last few cards. I'm also going to restart the camera really quick because it always cuts out at 30 minutes. So I'll be right back. Okay, we are back. So now we're going to shuffle these cards. So we have turbulence. The mind is murky in rough waters. So anytime that we're like constantly confused or constantly changing our minds or changing our directions, that kind of creates turbulence in the water. It's kind of like when you're swimming and you're constantly shaking things up and changing directions and being like this, no, wait, that, no, I don't know. That creates the turbulence in the water, and the mind is murky. In rough waters, it's harder to see because we're shaking up all that sand. So if we're wanting more clarity, sit still for a moment, maybe even meditate, stop taking action for a second, and everything will settle and you'll gain more clarity on where you are and where you need to go. We also have strength. Stay afloat and feel steady and calm. So that's like the going to the gym example as well, about like lifting heavier weights. It's hard at first until it gets easy, and then we have those muscles, and then all of a sudden it's easy from there on out. So this is all about building up that strength. And a lot of the times it's easy to stay afloat when we're steady and calm. It's hard to stay afloat when things are turbulent. If you try to like stay above water, for example, like if you're really scared and panicky, trying to stay above water is really difficult. A lot of the times it's really easy to sink that way, and people drown that way. But it's interesting that when you stay super calm in water, and you stay steady and you don't move a lot of the times the human body is really good at floating and can float pretty easily when you kind of stay super calm. So that's with that trust. So the spirit right now is coming through to say, have more calmness about this situation. Don't try to rush it. Don't try to do everything at once, because you're creating turbulence by doing that. A lot of the times the strength is when we can be calm and focused, and steadily moving forward. Steadily moving forward in a calm and focused way is going to be very beneficial to you, and to also just trust yourself, and again, learn the things that you need to learn so that you can accomplish this now, so that you can begin now on this road rather than needing to wait for other things to happen. Let's begin it now. Spirit is saying to start something now. There's not going to be a perfect time. The perfect time is right now. And that is the biggest message that Spirit has for you, group number 5. So I hope this made sense. I hope it resonated with you. I hope it offered some guidance for you in this moment. So I'm sending you all of my love, group 5. Definitely give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video. Bye.